Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back once again to Wheel Takes, a podcast that is generally speaking about the Wheel of Time, but today it's about the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, a novel by Suzanne Collins of the Hunger Games fame. I'm Gus.
It's true.
I have read the Hunger Games, and I'm on chapter 9 of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
And I'm Allie, and I also am on chapter 9 of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. We're first-time readers
That is
Ballad
true.
of Songbirds and Snakes.
This episode contains spoilers for everything we've already read, which is Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes through chapter 9, and also the entire main Hunger Games trilogy. We're coming at you late tonight after going to happy hour with our friends. Allie was the driver, which means that I drank responsibly. So this is going to be a great time. I am feeling very limber, very loose, very... what does lugubrious mean? I've forgotten what lugubrious means.
Lugubrious is not the right word.
What's it
means
mean?
not quite morbid, but like gloomy.
It's entirely wrong.
Yeah.
Loquacious. That's what I was thinking of. I'm feeling very loquacious.
That is the word you were thinking
Prone
of.
to saying a lot of words.
You know how I remember what lugubrious means?
How?
In Hercules, which is not a thing.
It's a myth.
Well, that's not what I'm here to talk
okay,
about.
Sure, yeah.
But there's a character, there are characters, if there were a movie, their names are Pain and Panic. And one of them is like coming down the stairs and he goes, "Coming, your most lugubriousness."
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's how I remember.
This is going to be very silly. I'm excited.
Oh, it's going to be goofy. All right.
Allie,
Yes.
what's up?
We're doing great.
I am.
Yeah, I'm doing great too. It's been a hectic week.
Yes, it has.
With a lot of feelings, all good ones, just a busy. We've got a lot of things going on.
That is true. That is very true. Listen.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's a book that neither of us has read, and I think every episode, weirdly enough, it seems like every episode of Ballad that we do, the intro is more and more chaotic.
I feel like the two of us have embraced chaos.
I hope so.
Did we ever not embrace chaos? I feel like
yes.
we just like have just gone full fuck it at
Here's
this point,
thing.
in like not a bad way.
Here's what happens. We have this weird kind of sine wave-esque relationship with how seriously we take this podcast.
Well, okay, here's the thing. We take it
very seriously no matter what.
Very, very seriously.
But that varies insofar as, are we like being incredibly strict with ourselves insofar as we have to be extraordinarily professional and deeply critical and analytical, or does it go to the opposite end of let's just make dick jokes?
I think the answer is yes to both of those things. It's both.
But we go back and forth between the two.
Yeah, because the answer is both. We're finding our happy medium.
They're both. It's serious dick jokes when we're making dick jokes.
I'm deadly serious about dicks.
Absolutely.
Anyway, do you want to talk about the book?
Allie, this is my question to us as a unit. Where did we leave off?
Where did we leave off?
I don't actually remember where we stopped reading.
I don't either. We've never been in this situation before.
Yeah, this is different. This is strange.
Delightful to me.
Chapter 5, which, I mean, like, we had to stretch this shit out over 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Because we can't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, we can't.
Never have we ever. If we were in college playing Never Have We Ever, it would be Never Have I Ever Shut the Fuck Up.
And I'll tell you, this is how we are as a couple too. We never stop talking to each other.
We truly don't.
We truly never stop
always
fucking
saying something.
Being idiots.
It's how it is.
Yeah.
What happened at the end of chapter 5?
I don't know.
Well, I'm looking at the book.
Okay.
There's a song.
Tell us.
Somebody suggested we sing the songs. And
Okay,
I am so flattered. And I just don't think it would work very well.
Here's the thing.
But I am really flattered that you suggested that. That was so sweet.
Here's why that wouldn't work. Gus and I both have fine voices. I would like to say we both have vocal training. We're both fine.
We have both studied voice.
The thing is that does not make me a musician.
Right.
I am not good, especially under pressure. Well, I'm okay. I have done musical improv before, but like in musical improv, these songs have like a lot of significance.
Yes.
And I feel like are supposed to be very, actually, this could be really funny.
It could be quite funny.
Because it is slightly out of my comfort zone to make up music, which is why I took musical improv. And I was okay at it. Like I was not particularly good. I was not particularly terrible. It's a really hard skill. And when you see really great musical improvisers, it's actually wild.
I'll bleep this if the answer is yes. Is struck work?
I don't know.
Okay. Because well, I'll just be vague. There was a comedy show that was on ABC Family when I was a kid that did incredible musical improv with the stylings of people like Wayne Brady, which is kind of my gold standard.
The Masked Singer.
The what?
That's reality. We can talk about it.
Oh, we can talk about that. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, everyone thought he was Jamie Foxx. That's
pretty funny. He was great. Allie, we left off with Sejanus going, "Hey, motherfucker, let's trade."
Oh, yeah. This was a good spot to end.
It was great. Now, here's the thing. Chapter 6 is ending. Hit me squarely in the gonads.
Like I did at cornhole tonight.
Yes, at happy hour we were playing a game that in the Midwest is called cornhole.
Gus and I needed a night of just like silliness, and our friends really provided this evening.
In some other places it's called bags, but essentially
I
it's
don't
a game
agree
where
with that.
You take two like 2 foot by 3 foot boards.
I feel so bad about this.
They are laid out about 15 to 20 feet away from each other, and they have a hole in them. And you throw bean bags and try to land them on the other board or in a hole in the board. And Allie...
We were playing with 2 of our friends who've known forever.
Yes.
And I was... and they're a married couple. Their names are Zach and Sarah. I can say their names.
Their first names, yeah.
Yeah, their first names. So Zach and Gus are at the like far hole, and Sarah and I are at the other one, and we're about to throw these bags. Gus had gone to the bathroom for a hot second.
Yes.
To wash his hands, and I was just in the middle of telling Sarah that my thing about athletic events is that I am either really good at them. No, really bad. I'm usually really, really bad, but with like weird, random, sudden brilliance in like a weird, random feat of athleticism that's like unbelievable.
She has,
and then like I can never replicate it again.
Brief, unexpected spurts of unbelievable athleticism.
Yeah,
like we were in a beer pong tournament over Thanksgiving with her family once, and she just drained like 8 shots in a row. And then went back to against
and
me,
then just
and then went
fell
back
apart.
to missing every single shot, which is how I play. I miss every single shot.
No, you were on fire tonight. You were really good.
Well, no, whatever. Yeah,
you were killing it. Anyway, so then, so I'm in the or like as another example, for my bachelorette party, we went to this bar in Chicago called Federales, and the thing at Federales is that. They'll give you these like ice mold shot glasses.
Oh, yeah.
And you all take a shot, and then you take turns trying to hit the bell.
There's a bell like hung way behind the bar.
And
you
with
throw
these,
the shot glasses at the bell.
It's not behind the bar. It's like in the like patio area.
Oh, sure.
And there's a whole roped off area so that no one gets hit by like shards of ice.
Of ice, yes.
But you try to hit this bell from pretty far away, and if you hit the bell, you get I think you get like a round of shots for the table. So anyway, so my friends and I are in line behind this group of guys. Not one of them hits the bell. And I told them, oh my God, watch. I get like 1 athletic feat a year. I do. And it's like a weird, like, oh my God. And then I can never do it again. And I was like, watch as I do this. And literally went up, threw it, drain that fucking bell. Like
Amazing.
I hit that bell so hard right in front of this group of guys that all couldn't hit it. And that was just like, it was a great night. So similarly, I'm up there. I'm telling Sarah, I'm like, either I'm going to be unbelievable and then fall apart, or I'm going to fall apart and continue to fall apart. And there's just no, there's no in between. And so Zach is standing on the other side of the cornhole, like board, which is like a slanted board. And he's standing there like in a legs open straddle position.
Just Google cornhole game.
Yeah. And he's like on the other side. And I go up and I toss the bag, and it's like a heavy bag.
Yeah.
And I hit poor Zach right in the nuts. Like a literal once in a lifetime shot. Like there's no way I could. And I just bam right in the nuts. I felt so bad, but he was like, that is the funniest thing that could have happened. That is the funniest thing that could have happened. I cannot believe it happened in that moment. And Gus comes out and we're like all on the floor cracking up.
Zach is prone. I'm like laughing, but all like mostly in horror that I did that to him. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Are you okay? I like asking him over and over and if he's okay. And like Sarah's dying and like he was fine, it was just like boom. And anyway, that was our night tonight. So similarly, right in the nuts, we get whatever the segue is back to this. I don't remember how the fuck we got here.
I had to talk about my athletic exploits, apparently.
But no, it's an even chapter. Those are mine.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I've been keeping track of this. I was rehearsing in my head while I was reading the chapter.
Were you?
Yes, because
that feels like cheating.
Deeply performative and narcissistic.
I wouldn't call you a narcissist.
Well, that's very kind of you. I don't actually consider myself one. But
you're just a performer.
That's to each their own.
Much like Lucy Gray. Oh, look at that.
Look at that segue. My God. That's the wrong. I didn't change the soundboard.
Crickets.
Look at that segue. Okay. Incredible. Allie, we're here today in chapter 6.
Yes.
Which is called what?
Nothing, because
that's right.
Oh my God, stop teasing me.
No.
Okay.
It's more fun. But I'll stop if you want me to. This is chapter 6. Let's share our notes.
Okay.
Did you take notes?
I did.
Or did you not?
I took notes.
Because they're funny.
I did.
I like your notes. Sorry, I'm in a way today.
No, I like it. Keep it. Okay, chapter 6. Livia Cardew sucks.
I have a similar note. I fucking hate this broad.
Yeah.
God damn, she's the fucking worst.
She's the fucking worst. Oh my God. Ooh, they might blackmail Sejanus' dad. Interesting.
Yes,
I wonder if that'll matter when it comes to the tax thing. Like he'll be like, okay, how about you don't take my condo?
Condo.
I mean, it is kind of a condo, right?
It's an apartment.
Well, okay. When you like think of it, I'm sure it's much nicer than an apartment. It's probably more like a condo.
I don't understand the difference between a condo and an apartment. I think the difference is that you rent an apartment most of the time and you
own a condo.
Own a condo.
Yeah. So really, technically, I think they have a condo.
But he calls this an apartment.
Well, maybe they don't have the word for condo. Okay. Oh, and we get the start of the betting.
Yeah.
Wow. It's so fun to see, like not fun, but like fun's awful.
Oh, no, wait a minute. A condo. Yeah, ownership is generally the difference, but not always. This is nonsensical. The housing market is obscene. Please continue.
Someone should do something about that. Like blackmail Sejanus' dad. Oh
my God.
My God. Bringing it back. Okay, so, yeah. But it's fun in a horrible way to see how things that became entrenched in the games started here. It's like, ooh.
Quite upsetting.
We've got flirtation and he's getting tongue-tied. I'm feeling good about my love triangle theory.
I gotta say, I haven't actually generated the bingo cards yet.
Don't change anything.
I'm not going to.
Okay.
My God, what kind of a unethical bastard do you think I am? I
did hit Zach in the nuts so that we could win the game.
Beamed him. You didn't.
No, I know. I was joking.
Tyler won.
I know.
Yeah,
we had
it was terrible.
a third part, like a third team.
It was
where
two
it was
teams
just
and
Tyler.
one guy who was just playing on both sides, and he demolished. It was great.
I wouldn't call it demolished.
Well, it was
he won
10 to 9 to 9. So actually, it wasn't a demolition.
Yeah, I would not say that as a demolishing.
But it was quite very good. And it was
standing
quite
up for us. We did well.
Do you have more notes?
Oh, yep. Sorry. We've got wait. But what were you going to say about having not drafted the bingo cards?
I don't remember exactly what's on each one, but you really hitting the hammer, hitting the nail right on the head.
I feel really good about my love triangle idea.
Well, I don't know about triangle, but definitely there's some attraction between the two of them.
But yes, there's definitely, Snow is definitely
this
interested.
whole fucking section, man, is just Snow being like, she looked at me.
I was just like, I know, like, I can't even think of how you would classify what Sejanus is as a person, but like, I'm not Sejanus.
Snow?
Anus.
Oh, Corey?
Yeah.
Choreo?
Anus.
Anus?
Anus. But there's a kind of guy that thinks he's smarter than everybody else. You encounter him a lot in college. And he's usually majoring in something like business. And he thinks he's smarter than everybody else and talks about, if you went to, I don't know, a college like Northwestern, he talks about how it was crazy he didn't get into Yale. And that has become like a weird villain origin story for him. And he is also like a raging misogynist, but he also just kind of seems to hate everyone. But also weirdly has like a lot of male friends because like he's charming to just men.
I don't really see Snow that way in this book.
You don't?
No, because he talks about being fairly close with like
every
Livia?
Social interaction he has is calculated and like in an attempt to make him look good.
Yeah, I agree with that, but he's
in
also
a creepy way.
He's also extremely charismatic.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah,
those guys are usually charismatic. That's what I'm saying. They have a lot of friends.
Sure.
But they're also fucking dicks.
Sure. Look, Snow sucks. I'm
to
not
anyone that they
that.
don't think they can use.
But what I will say is I think Snow is not only making friends with men. He has at least some degree of connection
with sociopathic capital kids?
Yeah, well, it's all of them are.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is like, yeah, guys like Snow are very charming.
Oh, sure.
They're also the fucking worst once you actually dive beneath the surface.
Oh, no, Snow sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is like, I know guys like this. And also I know about guys like this, right? That are charming and like come off well, but in a calculated, creepy way. And once you cross them in any particular way, they have like the wildest rage you've ever seen in your life. And like in an unsafe way.
That's bad. You don't want that. That's bad.
If
you behave that way, reflect.
I feel like his villain origin story has to do with something like, I don't know if Lucy rejects him or what, but like this guy is a fucking red flag.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look where he ends up.
I know. And just the way he's obsessed with Katniss, I was like, some girl hurt you. It's too much. The Covey people don't take sides during war and the peacekeepers are their best customers. I bet they look to the others like they're basically profiteers.
Oh.
It's not a great look. I know that they're just, they're like,
yeah.
From their perspective, it's like, we're just, trying to survive. They're just like everyone else. And like, we didn't ask to be roped into all of this, right? But I can see a world in which that's not a good look.
I mean, the Covey feel very heavily and explicitly one-to-one for Romani people.
Oh, absolutely. Here's the thing. I'm not blaming the Covey people.
Yeah.
I want to be very clear about that. I am not blaming the Covey people. I could see a world in which the anger, because I think they've been done probably very dirty by the district.
Again, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty implied that they've been done pretty dirty by the district. And like their unwillingness to take in 6 children is also like not a great look. But I could see a world in which to themselves, in their angry anti-capitalist or an anti-capital state, they could decide, even though it's totally within the Covey's right to not take a side and to survive however they can, just like everyone else is right now. I could see a world in which they justify their abuse by being like they're profiteers.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of bullshit justification. Like all the people that think that they're justified in being awful to other people come up with the justification because we're all the protagonist of our own story in our minds,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Like we're all the main character to ourselves, right? But it doesn't mean it's right. I'm just saying I'm starting to spy the shitty reason that they're using for their bigotry toward the Covey.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this guy's literally Pliny the Younger. I'm starting to feel like after the whole Arachne incident,
and look
we
at all
need
the
to look at the
fucking
names.
again.
And they list the names in these
multiple
chapters.
goddamn times.
So I'm feeling like, okay, we gotta look at these names.
Arachne died from hubris. Mm-hmm. Wow. Huh.
I knew giving them bonuses was going to start here. How sad that it was off Sejanus trying to stop the game.
Oh my God. It broke my heart. Fuck. This poor kid is
This
just
poor
trying to help.
Could you imagine?
Is it my turn?
Wait, nope.
Okay.
Oh shit, Dean Highbottom came up with the idea for the games. Whoa.
We knew that. That was in chapter 3?
Did I miss that somehow?
We talked about it last week.
No, I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay. Ugh, Arachne is being such an asshole. Well. Oh, fuck. They killed the girl who deserved death, just like the girl she's named for. She fucked around and found out.
That's how it be.
That is a great chapter.
All right, here's my notes. Sejanus, the proxy for the reader, going, yeah, this is fucked up.
Gotta have your reader stand in.
Grandmam is a classist, racist fuck, but she's right about Lucy Greybeard winding Corey around her little finger.
She is right about that.
Oh, God, of course. They didn't want Corey in the cage.
It's unfortunate when the worst person is right about something.
Yeah. They didn't want Corey in the cage because it reminds people that the tributes are children.
Yep.
There's a lot of emphasis on...
Like, oh, no, a capital
they're
child
kids.
is in there.
And if we see capital children next to the district children, we remember they're children. It's like, yes, they are.
Which is why they already don't necessarily want to watch the games because it's uncomfortable seeing kids killing each other.
Man, Livia Cardew sucks. Shut up, Livia Cardew. She's the worst.
She is the worst. And I bet she comes up with like, oh, maybe like our group should work, like the districts 1, 2, and 4 should work together. I bet that's how that starts.
Festus seems fun. Festus is the one who semi-ironically is like, execute people who don't watch.
Oh yeah, that guy seems
fun,
like a fucking black. Well, who's his person?
I don't remember.
I bet it's like 1, 2, or 4.
And then I just wrote braid because Lucy Gray braids her hair.
Braid.
Katniss has a braid.
Katniss does have a braid.
Bro is crushing out of control.
Lucy Gray braid. Am I right?
Sejanus accidentally inventing the gifting system. Wait, no, not like that.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Sejanus really said, "Can I offer you a nice egg in this trying time?" Because he brings a bag of eggs.
It's wild to me that the Capitol extended the time until the games, like, you know, bring up the hype and stuff. Never thought, we should probably feed them. Isn't that wild to you? Then nobody was like, we're going to have to feed them probably then. You know, like Snow's the one that brings it up.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
He's like, they've been without food for like days. I'm just saying, it's a little fucky. And it always is wild to me in those moments that no one turns to each other and is like, wait, are we the bad guys?
You'd
like,
think.
I don't know.
All right. Looks like Arachne had some hubris. That was written in my notes that way, so I had to play it.
That's a reference to nothing. Anyway.
All right. Chapter 6, after these ads. welcome back. 30 fucking minutes in and start talking. This is the good shit.
This is
All right.
the good shit.
Coriolanus relished the disappointment on Sejanus' face, but not for long, because that would have been petty. Look, Sejanus, you may not think so, but this is me doing you a favor. Think about it. What would your father say if he found out you'd traded the tribute he lobbied for? I don't care, said Sejanus, but it didn't sound convincing.
Fuck my dad.
God, my dad's a dick.
I mean, he is
He's right.
actually.
He is a dick. He's the worst.
You're not wrong.
Because I've had enough of this dude.
So, what goes down in the first half of this chapter, Al?
What goes down in this chapter?
The beginning part. What's the conversation that Corey and Sejanus have?
So
about?
Sejanus and Anus, they talk to each other about, the logistics of trading tributes. And
Yeah.
Anus is like, I want to keep Lucy, but maybe you could trade with somebody else. And Sejanus is like, no,
Absolutely
I'm
not.
not really comfortable giving Marcus to anybody but
But
you.
yeah.
And he's like, but this really sucks. Like, it really sucks. And Anus is like, I don't understand. What is empathy?
He thinks about
But then he starts to kind of feel it because he's like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
like now
'cause he
that
starts to
Lucy's
actually care
starting to
about
feel
Lucy.
like a person, it's starting to feel weird that these are like children in the cages, specifically Lucy.
the grandmam. Well, first Sejanus goes, it's just this whole Hunger Games thing is making me crazy. I mean, what are we doing? Putting kids in an arena to kill each other? It feels wrong on so many levels. Animals protect
It
their
is.
young, right? And so do we. We try to protect children. It's built into us as human beings. Who really wants to do this? It's unnatural. And Corey is like, yeah, just shut up. Like, kinda, but we deal with it.
Yeah, but maybe we don't have to deal with it.
How does the grandmam feel about Coriolanus having lunch with Lucy?
The grandmam is not pleased.
Enraged.
Yeah, she's
wrathful.
so mad because she's like, it makes you look like you've lowered yourself.
To feed her is one thing, she said. To dine with her suggests that you consider her your equal, but she isn't. There's always been something barbaric about the districts. Your own father used to say those people only drank water because it didn't rain blood. You ignore that at your own peril, Coriolanus.
That is bigoted, Grandma.
She's just a girl, grandmam. She's just a girl, grandmam, Tigress said.
She's district. And trust me, that one hasn't been a girl in a long time.
What does that mean?
That means that grandmam kind of is a piece of shit. But she's also right that Lucy Gray has snow kind of twisted around her finger.
I mean, she's
Like, she totally does.
It's that thing where it's like devastating. The worst person in the world is right about something.
It's awful. It's agonizing.
Yeah, I'm betting she's playing him a little bit.
Because he goes, hey, man, Lucy Gray's chill as fuck. She was nice about me. She told people not to stab me right in the dick, like Allie did to Zach with a beanbag. The grandmam held her ground.
Would she have bothered if you weren't her mentor? Of course not.
Well,
She's
yeah,
a
because
wily-
she wouldn't have talked to him.
She's a wily little thing who began to manipulate you the minute you met. Tread carefully,
grandmam.
my boy. That's all I'm saying.
I think she slut-shamed Lucy.
May have. Smidge.
Grandma. That's not acceptable.
Tigress makes some food for him to take to Lucy. He goes to a meeting with Satyria, tells her about Sejanus' whole thing.
Yeah.
And he goes to this class where they start discussing what are we going to do to make people watch the games.
Yeah, they started talking about that. And
what are the very level-headed
Festus
suggestions?
or whatever his name is. Festive?
Festus.
Festivus?
Festus Creed.
Festus Creed, what a name, is like, we make it mandatory, and if they don't watch it, we kill them. Well, we exile them to the districts, and then a second offense, we kill them. And if they're from the districts and they don't watch, we kill them.
Simple. We go straight to the punitive. Instead of suggesting people watch, make it the law. In the districts, we execute you. In the capital, we make you move to the districts. And if you mess up again next year, then we execute you.
Is it punitive to not watch in the districts? I think it is. I think they do end up doing that.
Yeah.
You are required to. I think you're required to watch.
I believe so, yeah.
Unless you're the family, I think.
Family gets a certain amount of leeway, as I recall.
Though if you are the family, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. Like, I don't know. Ugh. Because I seem to recall, I don't know. Gail doesn't watch in.
12 is also kind of lackadaisical about certain punishments and until Mockingjay.
That's true. Okay.
Not lackadaisical, but they don't push as hard as they could on certain things.
Yeah. And then, make it punitive. What an absolute fuckhead.
Sejanus is also giving me big PETA energy right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because he keeps on going, yeah, dog. Of course people don't want to fucking watch children kill each other. This is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Why is this a thing we're doing? We shouldn't be doing this. This is horrific.
Dumbest thing in the world. And then she's like, Highbottom came up with it. And you're like, well, Highbottom's a fucking idiot.
Also, Livia makes herself the worst because Sejanus goes, of course they do. Who wants to watch a group of children kill each other? Only a vicious, twisted person. Human beings may not be perfect, but we're better than that. How do you know? Said Livia snappishly. And how does someone from the districts have any idea what we want to watch in the capital? You weren't even here during the war.
Fuck off, you TikTok comment made real.
Yeah.
You know how there are some people where they just go on there and they just argue the most absolute batshit things?
Yes.
Where like someone will be like, I love dogs. And someone will go like, dogs should die. And you're like,
you're saying that you hate cats?
Oh my God. And you're just like, Jesus Christ. Can we just fucking chill? God, is the world not hard enough? Like, I'm sorry. Do you really? This is the thing about that kind of bullshit is I'm like, do you have nothing going on? Like, I don't have time to fucking pee some days. And I'm like, and you're here, like, you have nothing else to contribute to the world than this negative, toxic bullshit? Really? Anyway, so Olivia Cardew is a fucking moldy, grosso bullshit girl.
Coriolanus establishes himself firmly as a guy who sucks because he goes, we watched worse things during the war.
Okay.
And after.
Well, I don't think wars should exist either.
And Arachne goes, but we had a real stake in that, Corio. We were watching our enemies die. And they said that Arachne has a very loud voice, so I'm trying something. I mean, rebel scum and whatnot. Who cares about these kids one way or another? And Sejanus goes,
wow.
Possibly their families.
Oh, I don't know.
And Arachne goes, you mean a handful of nobodies in the districts? So what?
Oh my God.
Why should the rest of us care which one of them wins? And Livia looks at Sejanus and goes, I know I don't.
Sounds like a bummer that you died, Arachne.
And
truly.
then
It seems like you had a lot to offer the world.
Not to read a ton of dialogue. I don't mean to do this, but this is
I'm
great
enjoying
dialogue.
it.
Festus goes, I get more excited over a dog fight, especially if I'm betting on it.
Wow. Wow. You like to watch innocent things hurt each other?
Coriolanus goes, so you'd like it if we gave odds on the tributes? That'd make you tune in? Well, it would certainly liven things up.
Oh my God. I just fucking hate some people. Like, could you ever think about the fact that like 99% of us, I truly believe this, are just kind of just trying to go about our fucking day, right? We're just kind of trying to like go through life, take care of our family, feed our dog.
Speaking of the dog is having a very vivid dream on the couch next to us, and he keeps on like kicking the couch. So if you can hear that, you're welcome.
But you know what I mean? Like, I really do truly believe that most people in the world are just doing their best and trying and, you know, whatever. Because that is true of most of the people I meet. They are decent, fun, nice people. And that includes in Hollywood, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
like really wonderful, nice people who might be a little flaky because of traffic, but otherwise, like, that's the worst thing I can really say. And then you meet these fucks sometimes where you're like, wow, I don't know what happened to you, but something's broken. And like the fact that you can say this vile ass shit with a straight face, with no sense of like empathy or like care, like that you can look at like children dying and go, well, they shouldn't have been born poor or whatever. Like, and you just go, what the actual fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, truly, truly, truly. And then somehow they are like CEO of a company. And you're just like, do we keep letting these fucks?
You know, there's actually people with psychopathy tend to do very well on the corporate ladder.
I know.
I'm not saying that all people who do well on the corporate ladder are psychopaths, but yeah.
Well, because then you look at what the job actually entails, which is just like underpaying and overworking people. Like, you're like, what decent person would want to be this? Am I wrong?
The Wikipedia definition of psychopathy is a mental health condition characterized by persistent antisocial behavior, impaired empathy and remorse, and bold, disinhibited, and egotistical traits.
Now, here's the thing.
I'm not saying that all people who are in corporate America are psychopaths.
We're not. But I'm like, there is a breeding ground a little bit sometimes. There's a tendency. Obviously, many of my family are in business.
Most of your family is in business.
Yes. And only some of them seem like
only
they
a couple.
Just kidding. Maybe. Just kidding. But at the same time, also, considering the fact that these are legitimate mental health diagnoses, I also don't want to say that like all psychopaths or sociopaths inherently are bad people or become bad people.
No, certainly
right?
not.
Like there is or that all bad people are psychopaths or sociopaths, because that is a stereotype that's not true. There are some people who are psychopaths and sociopaths because of their lack of empathy that do become bad people. And there is a little bit more of a pipeline potentially, right?
My acting teacher, somebody did a scene from American Psycho recently, which is a book. My acting teacher said that psychopath plus narcissist plus it was a third thing equals serial killer. That's American Psycho. He's a psychopath. He's also a narcissist, and he is also a sadist.
You know,
those three things, because you can be a psychopath and not
throw in a head wound.
Plus a head wound, yeah.
And a bad relationship with mother.
You can be a psychopath and not be an inherently violent or cruel person.
Well, it's interesting because it's like, it's one of those things where you see people grow up in like similar circumstances, right? Because you hear about like the serial killer trifecta or whatever, where it's like
animal cruelty, bedwetting, and
head wound.
It's not bifocals, head wound.
Head trauma. No, there during the golden age of the 80s, unfortunately, those like transition lenses that all look like the same did for some reason seem to be very popular in that group. But, no, it's not the glasses. A head wound, at a young age, so I think that's, and then I think let's throw in like an issue with mommy because, that's
plenty of that. Yeah.
Sometimes they'll throw in a wild card daddy. But, those tend to be, but also they like aren't necessarily, I mean, there's trends, but that doesn't necessarily predict that someone is going to end up being a serial killer. And it doesn't necessarily mean that every serial killer has that trifecta. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's one of those things we constantly are trying to generalize things and look and put things in boxes when obviously
we're
the whole of human
love
experience
pattern recognition.
Yes. When the whole of human existence is obviously much more varied and complex than that. But, we can look for patterns and go like, oh, there's a tendency when you are, you have certain issues, especially with empathy for other people, where like there can be a very negative consequence to that. But there are also a lot of people who work on that and are aware of it and are, not wanting to hurt people who happen to lack empathy, so I just think that's important to touch on while we're throwing around these terms because
we're not pejoratively.
But these kids lack a serious amount of empathy that I think if an adult overhears this, rather than encouraging it, should be very alarmed at the things that are coming out of these kids' mouths.
So these,
and granted, sorry, one last thought. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I think this is right, that all kids technically have some level of sociopathy growing up.
Well, you don't,
because they're not. Yeah, their brain hasn't developed a lot of like thinking about other people.
You don't really conceptualize the other for quite a while, or anyone else's experience.
And so technically,
so your brain doesn't really have room for anybody else's experience to a point.
Right. Like I had a student stick a pencil in another student's ear.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was bad.
That. Yeah, you told me about that.
Stick a pencil in another student's ear. And when I went to him and I was like, why would you do that? He was just like, I don't know. Because I think he genuinely didn't realize that would hurt her. Mm-hmm. Because like the concept of other as like a whole human being, I think some adults I know struggle with sometimes. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, unfortunately, it seems like the adult figures in these kids' lives are not doing anything to teach them any empathy for people who are different from them. And that's really unfortunate.
So these kids go to meet with their districts to do like a questionnaire.
Oh,
give me the rundown.
Lucy talks to Anus.
Yeah.
And they fill out the questionnaire successfully. Every other tribute shuts down completely and doesn't want to open up.
Pretty much.
And basically,
a couple are kind of talkative, but not
really. Yeah, but they're like all traumatized and upset and freaked out, and understandably. And there's also no like I think unfortunately this is where the incentivizing them to talk is going to come in, because like having it be like, oh, you'll get invested if you can send people stuff, but that also incentivizes the tributes to be gregarious and be open and be showing off their skills, because those people could help them. So being likable would help them. So like, while we definitely see some people who still shut down, like Thresh, Thresh doesn't really open up.
Mm-hmm.
Like we then also see people like Katniss and Peeta,
mm-hmm.
who are like, let's get them to like us. I mean, Peeta immediately is like, we have to get them to like us.
So Snow is interviewing Lucy Gray. How are you? He says. Sleepy, scared, hungry. Only a couple people came by the zoo this morning to feed us. I got an apple, which was more than most, but not exactly filling. And he gives her the bread pudding, and she starts crying. And he goes, oh, no, you don't like it? I can try and bring something else.
It's your favorite.
It's my favorite. And she has it.
Ugh.
So, what's our plan today? Well, I'm supposed to fill out this questionnaire about your background. Do you mind? Not a bit.
Here's the thing. I feel like Snow,
I love talking about myself,
enters his villain era, his true villain era, I feel like he's going to be like, if we make the capital kids do this, we're going to raise people who see the tributes as people.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to remove them from that as much as we can.
It's so fucked
and
up.
Instead, we're going to pivot this toward the past winners being the mentors to torture them forever.
Yep. And he has to ask about family and stuff. And one of the cursory questions is whether or not she's married. And she goes, why are you asking? Because I think this could work. And he goes, I'm pretty sure you could do better. She goes, haven't yet. How about you've got sweethearts lined up around the block? And he's like, well, parents?
Oh, man, I wish the Janus was here. He's way better at talking to
So give me the rundown on what she does to stay alive.
on what she does to stay alive in the district.
How does she make her living?
She sings and plays music.
Just in the town square? Or
no, they get hired for weddings.
Yes.
And, it'll be like 3 couples getting married at once.
Mm-hmm.
The peacekeepers will pay for them to play and like events and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what they do. And she says the peacekeepers are her best customers, probably because they're capital people right now.
And they have money.
Because they're capital people.
Yep. Sejanus is sitting across from Marcus, desperately trying to get answers from him, and he's just sitting there stone-faced, not eating the food. Which makes sense.
Ugh, poor guy.
They discuss what to do during the interview section.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, hey, you want to like do another song or some shit? Like, that might go over good. I don't know. She goes, I'm not sure there's a point to it. I mean, when I sang that song at the reaping, I that didn't have anything to do with you all here. I didn't plan it. It's just part of a long, sad tale that nobody but me gives a hoot about. And he goes, well, it was beautiful. It made me feel like when my mother, she died when I was 5. It made me remember a song she used to sing me. What about your daddy? Lost him too, actually, the same year. So you're an orphan, like me. Coriolanus didn't like being called that. It could be worse.
It's like disabled people don't like being called disabled.
I have the grandmam.
Hold on. Well, here's the thing. That is the term at this point that they want to be called, but it's the transition into like accepting yourself as a disabled person.
Oh yeah,
is hard for some people, and so there are a lot of people who classify as disabled people who are like, I'm not disabled. People with this issue aren't disabled actually because I'm just fine. And it's like, okay, that could be true. There is obviously a range of disability, right? There are people with like neurodivergence or physical disabilities that are like, well, it's not that bad. I have it, and I can do this, and like, why can't everybody? Da, 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 da. And it's like, well, there's a range, but also there are a lot of people that have disabilities that like either out of fear of like what that will mean for them, or like out of fear of what that means because like people might discriminate against them if they identify as disabled, or because they like that is a transition in how they'll see themselves. Don't like it when people call them disabled.
Sure.
Because it like freaks them out because they're not ready to accept that as an identity.
Sure.
I feel like there's something similar going on with the word orphan for Coriolanus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, I don't think he wants to be called that because it implies a certain vulnerability.
Livia made fun of him for it because Livia fucking sucks.
It's wild to me that there are people in this world who are like, you know what I'm going to do is make fun of someone for having dead parents.
Shitty.
Like, what? Like, I know that must be something people do. I'm like, you know what? The capacity for human cruelty and also the capacity for human kindness are boundless.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I cannot imagine looking at somebody who's lost both parents and being like, haha, like, what? I don't know.
It could be worse. I have the grandmam. That's my grandmother. And Tigress. Do you miss your parents? I wasn't that close with my father. My mother, sure.
Aww.
It was still hard to talk about her.
That's a big sure.
To you? A lot. Both of them.
They can understand each other.
Wearing my mama's dress is the only thing keeping me together right now. It's like she's wrapping her arms around me.
They can understand each other.
Coriolanus goes, my mother always smelled like roses. Rose count, 4.
What are you doing, 5?
7.
Oh.
And she goes, well, I don't think I really justify singing. He goes, that's a shame, though, with your voice. She goes, I'll sing you a few bars backstage.
Aw.
I'm not rooting for them because Coriolanus sucks.
And we also, I think, know how this is going to turn out, which is not well.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think if I hadn't read The Hunger Games, I would be reading this and I would be rooting for Snow to change his mindset.
Oh, definitely.
Because I would be a lot more sympathetic, and I'd be like, come on, buddy, you got to get there. You got to understand that this is bad.
I feel like what
You
we're
got to turn
going
it around.
for with this too, though, is like, I feel like there's going to be a certain extent to which he starts to feel entitled to Lucy.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
And I think that will become a big problem.
Yes.
And I think that will put him on the villain origin path.
Well, and I think it's going to be very important that Suze make it clear that the issue is Coriolanus there, not Lucy.
Yeah. Well,
because Snow is the bitter ex-boyfriend who became a fascist, is not, you know what I'm saying?
Is not what? The problem is definitely going to be with Coriolanus.
Yeah,
no, this is the thing.
Yeah, that's
I
the
think
the problem has to be with Coriolanus, not with Lucy rejecting him.
No,
like, Lucy rejecting him is not, it's not, oh, that horrible woman.
No, I think the issue is going to be his entitlement.
Yes.
Like his possessiveness and entitlement over her might be a huge fucking issue.
Very possible.
Because again, I know men like this. I've met men like this. Probably every woman who listens to this podcast has met men like this.
You know who else?
Where it's like their love is scary.
You know who else is a man like this?
Anus.
Gale.
Because I've had enough of this dude.
Honestly, though, here's the thing. I do wonder a little bit if like the end of this is going to be a little bit like I kind of put on a little bit of how much I loved you because I mean it's
gotta be. It's gotta be.
You know, and here's the thing.
Because like
PETA had the same thing happen with Katniss.
But he responded the right way.
Which
is hard.
But then I'm like, okay, so if Snow is pretty sure that's what's going on, and that happened to him, and that started his villain origin story, maybe that's the fucking reason why he's obsessed with Katniss. Really? Like, in addition to the whole, like, you know, you embarrassed me on national television thing, which is obviously going to be a big sore spot for Snow because he's a fucking asshole. I'm also like, he immediately is on to Katniss doing this, right? Yep. And it's like, you better convince me that that's not what you're doing.
It feels loaded, yeah, when you think of it that way.
I'm just saying, I feel like, yeah, but I'm like, Suzanne has to pull this off in a way that doesn't make Lucy the bad guy.
Which I have faith in her.
I do too, because I think she knows exactly what she's doing with this book. This is the thing about Suzanne Collins. I don't know her, obviously. But when I read her books, and I think this is the difference between like the Hunger Games and people who tried to replicate its success to lesser effectiveness, is that Suzanne Collins had a fucking thing to say.
She had a very strong thesis.
Yeah. She was like, I have worked in Hollywood, because she was a writer in Hollywood for a long time. She's like, I have worked in Hollywood. I have done all this stuff. I have watched what the world has been and become, and I have something to fucking say about it, about like our exploitation of people in all industries. But I think it feels particularly loaded when you realize that she comes from Hollywood, right? She had something to fucking say. And not to mention, she was a woman in Hollywood in the in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yep.
So she had something to really fucking say, right? And so I think that's the point, is that like she really, it's a searing indictment masked as a YA novel of all of mankind's bullshit, right? But also showcasing our capacity to also do really amazing, courageous things, even though we don't feel amazing and courageous.
Yep.
And like, that's the point, is like, it's both. So yeah. And like that can come from anybody, right? So she's like saying to these teenagers, like, hey, I know the world that you are entering in feels absolutely fucking batshit, right? But even you, as small as you feel in all of it, as you are like really kind of being exposed to all like the world's ills, because that's really what like growing up is. Like all of a sudden there's a point at which people are like, well, here's really how the world works. And like, accept it, or I don't know. Good luck.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like I like it's kind of a kindness that she's like, here it is. I'm not going to talk down to you about the fact that the world's fucked up and adults do fucked up things to each other. They do fucked up things to kids. I don't know when you had to grow up, but even you who feel very small can do something about it and make an impact and make a difference. And that's really awesome.
Yep.
But she had something to fucking say.
Yep.
And I feel like it was like a lot of the other people that tried to do this too just wanted to replicate its success. And that's the lesson Hollywood and a lot of other industries keep learning over and over and over again.
That's the whole thing about the arts, is that any real artistic expression comes from a place of, I have an opinion.
It has to.
And I want to share it.
Like,
God
you have
damn
to
it, I
share
can't
it
talk about fucking TV shows.
in a compelling story, not as a lecture.
Yes, you have to share it in a way that is
show don't tell.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about the Wheel of Time books. Many of the Wheel of Time books, if not all of them, Robert Jordan has a very clear opinion about things.
Yeah.
And he is exploring that concept while also expressing his opinion in a way that is neither preachy nor is it stentorian, and nor is it purely academic.
Stentorian, will you define that for me?
As though it were a lecture.
You are 4 drinks in and you're pulling out words like
5,
stentorian.
actually. I had a beer while we were recording.
My absolute God. Okay.
Stentorian's a good word.
Wait, say it again. What it means?
As though it were a lecture.
As though we're okay. Good.
Yeah. And yeah,
I'll file
Suzanne,
that one away.
Really, I'm just repeating what you're saying, which I try really hard not to do. All that having been said, we're going to take a quick break for some ads. Welcome back. We're still on the first chapter. We're not going to get through all 4 today. It's great. This is great.
Well, we can record more tomorrow.
To those of you, oh my God, we could just drop like a 4-hour fucking episode on a random ass Tuesday.
We could.
This is great. This is what the people want.
I mean,
it is actually, because we dropped a 10-hour episode and then tons of people listen to it.
It's true.
Y'all are great.
We honestly have fucked up all the advice that you get when you start a podcast.
Truly, we do nothing right.
Oh, no.
Nothing right.
No, like one of the big things that everybody tells you is like there's
30 to 45 minutes. Fuck that. Absolutely not. No
Fuck
goddamn
that.
way. The shortest episode we've ever released, I think, was 48 minutes long. And I apologized mid-episode.
I love us.
And people kept tweeting at me, what happened? Is everything okay?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's like, whoa. What wheel tags is 48? What the fuck?
That's hilarious.
We're strange podcast.
I just really like talking to you. That's the problem.
This is what it comes down to. Anyway, no,
reading.
It's my chapter. She's reaching for the book, trying to take my narration away. God damn it. I love my narration. You can't take this from me.
I love this most chaotic episode.
This is a mess. This is not the most chaotic episode. Are you kidding me? Have you listened to any of our other episodes on any other book?
You're right.
I think that we really hit our stride when we did the episode called The Metal Chest. Anyway, how did everybody else's interviews go?
Oh, poorly.
Horribly.
Yeah, nobody talked to them.
Absolute
or like
ass.
They barely said anything.
Trash bag garbage nonsense.
Yes, and immediately what's her face goes, this is trash bag garbage nonsense.
Yeah.
Except for you, Anus. Anus got the open up.
Pretty much.
Did that just hit you?
Yeah. Pliny Harrington, aka Pup, aka Pliny the Younger.
Yeah, there's like some lawyer.
A lawyer named Pliny the Younger.
Named Pliny the Younger. And they call him Pup to keep him separate from his dad.
His dad, yeah.
I'm assuming Pliny the Older.
Pliny the Elder, yeah. So Pliny the Younger's tribute cried for 15 straight minutes. He goes, I don't think District 7 prepared her for a hangnail, let alone the games.
Well, I'm sorry. That we don't want to train our children to die.
And apparently he's a total
Fuck
slob,
you.
so the fact that I've given him RP doesn't actually make any sense, but that's okay.
You can be I'm sure there are slovenly British people.
Not a one.
I'm sure there are.
Shout out to all of our listeners in the United Kingdom.
I'm just saying, I'm sure there are a few.
there's tons.
And there's no shame in that. Whatever. You know what? Whatever it takes to survive.
So they go back to meet with Dr. Gall, and she's just fucking with this mutation rabbit, which is going to be important.
Yeah, we've mentioned it twice now.
Or it's a metaphor. It's either important or it's the overall metaphor for the entire book. And I'm not sure which
The
yet.
rabbit rabbits is the rabbit rabbits.
She goes, hippity hoppity, how did you fare? Did they greet you like friends or just sit there and stare?
Okay, the fucking sinister. All right,
It's so fucked up.
it's the fucking sinister
It's so
rhyming.
fucked up.
It's like evil Dr. Seuss over here.
For those of you who don't know, I'm Dr. Gall, the head game maker, and I will be mentoring your mentorships. Let's see what we have to work with, shall we?
Gall has got to be a specific reference, right?
Well, Gall, the Gauls,
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
yeah. But that doesn't really work because they were not Romans. The Gauls were Germanic people, maybe?
But we got some Greek in here too. Arachne's Greek, isn't she?
Arachne is Greek, yeah. Oh, Celtic. God damn it, Gus. Of course they were fucking Celtic. The Gauls were Celtic peoples of mainland Europe in the Iron Age and the Roman period.
Yeah, but she picked that for a reason.
Yeah.
Do we know her first name?
Yes?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I do not remember.
Okay, no worries.
Well, can I look up the name, or is everybody screaming at their phone? No. Hold on. Dr. Gall.
You're playing fast and loose.
Volumnia.
Interesting. Volumnia.
I don't know.
Oh, it's a character in Coriolanus.
Really?
Yeah. She plays a large role in Coriolanus' life. Encouraging
she's
him.
cribbing Shakespeare. This is great.
Yes, I see.
She's Coriolanus' mom.
Yeah, the mother of Coriolanus. She plays a large role in Coriolanus' life, encouraging him in his military success and urging him to seek political office. When the people of Rome put her son in exile and he joins their military enemies, she manages to persuade him not to besiege Rome and becomes a heroine to the city.
Okay, so this is what's going to happen in this book.
Oh, fuck.
This is what's going to happen.
Oh, my God. We just blew this book wide open.
Coriolanus is going to become really sympathetic
What if he becomes...
because of Lucy Gray.
Yeah.
And then Gall is going to be like, "Oh God, we figured it out. This is it." Because
he definitely gets those 3 strikes.
Gall opens the fucking book by being like, "You don't get what the Hunger Games are for, do you?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, it's because kids, fucking kids, man. We love kids is great. Gotta love kids. Frank Reynolds." And then who's Frank Reynolds? And then what's going to happen is he's going to go all the way to the other side.
Yeah.
He's going to fully fucking...
I thought...
God damn it. Yeah, no, you're totally right. He's going to go all in, isn't he? He's going to go all in on,
I think so.
Lucy, at least.
Yeah.
And then Gall is going to be the one who's like, this is the point of the Hunger Games, is it makes you kind of feel for
them.
And
the 3 strikes. And she
totally
put her
get
son
all
in
3 strikes.
exile.
Yeah.
So he gets 3 strikes, becomes a peacekeeper in 12.
No, he's not
Because that's what he's afraid of. He's like, all the fucking capital rejects become peacekeepers.
But this is not a big enough book.
And
we're
she said
a quarter
their
of the way
best
through.
customers are peacekeepers.
Yeah, I don't think we have enough time for that. I think if this were a Wheel of Time book, yes.
But God, her plotting is so fucking tight,
It's
though.
very tight, but I don't think we have time for him to go to 12 and come back.
It's a 500-page book.
Yeah, we're already on page.
I know we're used to the Wheel of Time.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I think it's possible.
But he's
How long
definitely-
can the
his
Hunger
sympathies-
Games really
his-
take at this point? They
a
put them
long
in an
time.
arena.
They got delayed because Arachne went full Hannibal.
Yeah, they're delaying it like 2 days.
Sure,
I'm saying.
but yeah, no, he's
And
totally
then
gonna
she
go.
eventually talks him back into his shit.
He's totally yeah. Ah, god damn it, Suze, you're too good at this shit.
Volumnia. Coriolanus' wife, named Volumnia in Plutarch's lives. Plutarch's lives. Plutarch like Plutarch.
The very one.
Very one. Okay.
So
Well, and we know that Snow eventually at least has children because he has a granddaughter in the books.
yes, he does.
Interesting. Anyway, I would think we should keep looking up these kids' names.
So Gaul chats with them and is like, "Hey, how'd it go? I see one of you fuckers actually filled out the questionnaire. Way to go, Corey. Top marks, X out of 10 because it's Roman numerals." And Snow goes, "I had good luck with my tribute. She's a talker, but most of the kids wouldn't communicate. And even my girl can't see the point of making an effort at the interview." And Sejanus goes, "Why should they? What does it get them? No matter what they do, they'll be thrown into the arena and left to
Sejanus,
fend for themselves."
Stop talking.
And Dr. Gall goes, "You're the boy with the sandwiches. Why'd you do it?"
Because I'm not a fucking monster.
"They were starving. We're going to kill them. Do we have to torture them ahead of time as well?" A rebel sympathizer.
Uh-oh.
Intimidating.
Fuck.
He goes, "Hardly rebels. Some of them were 2 years old when the war ended. The oldest were 8. And now that the war's over, they're just citizens of Panem, aren't they? Same as us?
We're just creating more generational trauma.
Isn't that what the anthem says the capital does?
Aren't we done?
You give us light, you reunite. It's supposed to be everyone's government, right?" She goes, "Uh-huh. That's the general idea. Go on."
Okay, so I looked into... Oh, no. I looked into Sejanus.
Oh, no, yeah. We read about Sejanus. He's going to fucking die.
I know, he's fucked. Okay.
He's totally going to die.
Amidst suspicions of conspiracy against Tiberius, Sejanus was arrested and executed along
Emperor
with
Tiberius,
his
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
along
he's
with
dead
his
as
father.
shit.
Oh, he's fucked.
He's dead as fuck.
He is
man.
absolutely fucked.
This kid is going to get roasted.
I wonder why she picked the name Lucy Gray Baird.
Lucy Gray. It's very contemporary.
Yeah, it's so, right? Like almost weirdly so. The name Lucy means as of, because writers often...
Look on babynames.com.
Oh my God, yeah. So I'm looking at babynames.com. Why'd she name her Lucy? As of light. So dawn, daylight. Okay, so she's like the dawning of a new something.
Oh, yeah, that could work.
Okay. Baird as a last name. Oh my God.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God. Suze. Baird is a masculine Scottish name derived from bard, meaning poet or one who sings ballads.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah.
God damn it.
God damn it.
Ugh.
Jesus. Okay. All right. We're cutting on to this, I think.
Suze.
Volumnia. Good thing I looked that up.
This is fun because the people who have read the books and know we're wrong about everything are just frothing.
Or they're like, fuck, why did she have to
It's
Google
one or the
Volumnia?
other. It's one or the other.
Because
and
I know.
I can't wait to find out which.
Because I know Suze names her characters so carefully.
She really does.
And I'm somebody who also is like, oh, like I'm going to look up baby names that mean X because I like having the characters' names
I did
mean
that.
something.
Yeah, when I was
fun.
writing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun because you're like, no one will know, but it'll be a little like thing I do with myself. And it also prolongs the fun part of the writing process, which is the planning phase. The planning phase is the most fun part of the writing process. For sure. No question. You're like, how long can I stare into space and think about theme and how good my thing is going to be without actually having to do it? Because the doing part is the hard part.
So Gaul and Casca Highbottom have this whole conversation.
Casca, huh?
Yeah, Casca.
That's some Shakespearean shit too.
Yes, it is. Any
That's
thoughts on any of this?
a conspirator in Julius Caesar, yeah?
Yep. Yes, it is.
Casca. Okay. We're just going to casually drop Casca.
Suze knows what she's on about.
She knows what she's doing. They talk about what? I'm sorry. What was your question?
What's this whole chat they have?
They decide that they're going to create a thing where people can bet on the games. And then also
Not
they
yet.
can send the tributes.
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
No, what is it?
They talk back and forth about, because Sejanus is like, this is bullshit and we shouldn't do this. This is fucked up. And she's like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm fucking talking about. This guy gets it. This guy gets it. This guy gets it. Right, Casca? And Highbottom, who apparently, if there were to be a film ever, apparently would be played by Peter Dinklage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that casting. If there were
ever
casting.
a movie.
It's really hard to have a podcast and
It's
not drop
really,
film and
really
TV
hard.
references, which
It's
is why you
really
should
fucking
pay
hard.
your motherfucking actors.
Anyway.
I dig that.
So she talks, she goes, compassion is the key to the games. Empathy, the thing we lack. Right, Casca? Now, wouldn't it be wonderful if everyone in the audience felt as passionately about the tributes as this young man here? That should be our goal. Highbottom goes, no. Yes, for them to really get involved. You've given me a marvelous idea. A way to let people personally affect the outcome of the games. Suppose we let the audience send the tributes food.
Highbottom wants the games to be done.
In the arena. He came up with these fucking things.
I know, but he
Yeah,
doesn't
he
like.
hates
He regrets
this.
it. Yeah, I mean, imagine how many kids at this point have died because of him?
24 times 9 is 200.
Oh my God.
50 minus 24, 226.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know he knows that number.
Yep.
Fuck. I'd be a morphling addict too.
Yep. Suppose we let the audience send the tributes food in the arena. Feed them like your friend here did in the zoo. Will they feel more involved? And guess who gets into this immediately?
Coriolanus.
Festus.
Oh, Festus.
I would if I could bet on the one I was feeding. Just this morning, Coriolanus said maybe we should give odds on the tributes. And Gaul goes, of course he did.
Oh, God.
All right, then. You all put your heads together and figure it out. Write me a proposal on how this could work, and my
God.
team will consider it.
Oh, God.
And Livia's like, wait, actually? And she goes, yeah, man. Old Casca over there came up with the concept for the Hunger Games when he was my student at the university. Just a few years older than you are now.
I'm fucking looking up Casca.
All eyes turned to Dean Highbottom, who addressed Dr. Gall. It was just theoretical.
Oh.
And so is this.
Wait.
Unless it proves useful. I'll expect it on my desk tomorrow morning.
It was just theoretical. So was the atom bomb.
Oh, god damn. This dude regrets it, doesn't he? This dude big time regrets it. This dude's having a terrible time.
He was, and Casca was one of the assassins of Julius Caesar.
Oh god, I haven't watched or read Caesar in a minute.
It's one of my favorites.
He's one of the ones who pretty quickly is like, oh, we fucked up.
Highbottom's definitely dead too. Because Casca is believed to have died by suicide after their defeat at the Battle of Philippi.
Yes. He's the one who's like, oh, we fucked up.
Yeah.
We fucked up.
Fucked up. Yeah. I think he falls on his sword on purpose or something like that.
Oh, yeah. He has his servant hold his sword
and he's the one that runs.
Yeah, he runs on it.
I think, yeah.
Oh, God. This is going to be a heavy book.
Oh, God.
I mean, it's big.
Listen, I'm trying to avoid talk about it at all costs. But I did see someone say they finished it and they're pissed.
They're pissed?
Yeah.
Really?
I think in a this is terrible, please keep going.
Yeah, well, yes.
Yeah.
We got one of my favorite emails I've ever gotten today from somebody who sent a message that included, hey, I got the stalker footage of Gus reading the Hunger Games, and it's a clip of Brent Spiner, I'm not going to say the name of the thing, playing a robot in a film, playing a cyborg in a film, and he drinks something, and he goes, I hate this. This is revolting. And then the bartender goes, more? And he goes, please. That's exactly correct.
Yeah, that is the experience of the Hunger Games.
So they have food. Great. It's Snow, was it Snow, Clementia, and Arachne who were writing this proposal?
Yeah. Clemencia is interesting.
Yeah. Allie, who the fuck is Clemencia in Roman history?
Clemencia just sounds like clemency.
Yeah.
And I am interested. Let's find out. Well, not the Hunger Games wiki.
No, we cannot go there.
Clemencia is a girl's name of Latin origin, meaning mild or merciful. Interesting. It's also a kind of moth.
All right.
That's interesting.
The next day, Snow goes back to the zoo. He takes some food. There's some kids there giving some food to the tributes. It's kind of like the thing now is to give food to the tributes, which is horrifically dehumanizing.
Ugh.
Shall we address how horrifically dehumanizing this is?
Oh my God. Listen, I'm not rooting for child death, but if there was a child that had to die, Arachne really fucking sucks. So It seems like she's probably on the list.
This kid, Horace. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, but she sucks. She dangles the sandwich in front or the food in front of her. And then each time she reaches for it, she holds it out of her reach and is like, in front of the cameras. Bad. I would have slit her fucking throat too.
So this kid,
have you ever seen me hangry?
Yes. Yes, I have. This kid, Horace, gives
fucking slit her throat too.
And you'd be right to.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. This kid, Horace, gives Lucy Gray a potato.
Oh.
What's your name? Horace, said the boy. I saved you my potato. Aren't you sweet? Should I eat it now or save it? Now. And of course she inhales it because they are starving them. Do we want to talk about this now?
Did these fucking idiots not realize they needed to feed these kids if they were going to extend the games?
This is fucked. It's been 5 days.
Not to mention all the days that it took for them to get to the place in the first place.
Yeah, she hasn't eaten since she left District 12, which was 5 days ago.
You're starving these fucking kids for no reason. Oh my God, they're such idiots.
And they chat. She puts on a show. And this is fucked up. The districts are the tributes are performing to try to get people to give them food. They're juggling or doing little acts to try to get more food.
It's so fucked up.
And Lucy goes, "We're a regular circus troupe, we are." And Coriolanus goes, "None of them hold a candle to you." Flirting. I feel I'm Sejanus.
I'm my woman instincts.
Sejanus
paid off.
Busts in with bags full of eggs.
Bags of eggs.
Bags full of
eggs.
Man,
I offer you a nice egg in this trying time.
Can I offer you a nice egg in this trying time? Yeah.
What a guy.
That's Sejanus for you.
That's Sejanus for you. What are we referencing? Nothing.
Rebel sympathizer Sejanus over here.
Oh, boy. And they flirt really hard for a minute.
They do.
Really fucking hard.
Really fucking hard. And
you first.
She's playing him.
Oh my God. This is here's the thing. We're in his perspective.
Yeah.
We're Bree, who comes up 5 times every podcast because Bree is amazing. Who is an author and a longtime friend of the podcast. We were talking and Bree said, "It's not surprising to me that you didn't clock that this is not first person because this is about as deep of a third person as you can get."
Right.
It is so deeply enmeshed in Coriolanus's brain what is going on right now
that she can hide what's going on in someone else's.
She can very well and truly hide what is going on in anyone else's brain.
Yeah.
And so
Lucy's a performer.
She's
determined to survive.
Snow is her lifeline. So, yeah, of course this is happening. This is fucking fascinating because I think this is...
And she's the one we've seen with a snake.
Uh-huh.
So when we're like, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I think we're inclined to believe that Lucy is a songbird and
Snow's the snake. She might be the snake.
But she's the one who put a snake in someone's dress.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think I want to clarify, I don't think she's a bad person for doing this.
No, absolutely not.
I think she's doing what she needs to survive. Well, she's a survivor.
Snakes are not
bad.
Judeo-Christian mythology aside, snakes are not inherently evil.
No.
They're creatures trying to live, and they're predatory creatures.
Just like everything else.
But, I'm a human. I eat other animals.
Yeah.
Not all of us do, but many of us do. So,
I mean, all of us have to consume some kind of life to survive, right?
Yeah,
Whether it's plants or animals or what.
Yeah.
So, it's tough. I mean, I think she's doing what she has to do to survive. She's playing the game, much like PETA and Katniss were playing the game. And, I think Snow is a young man and a pretty girl is talking to him.
To your point earlier, Allie, you mentioned PETA and how he behaves at the end of the first book. This is very much what I think reading book 1 from PETA's perspective would have been like.
Yeah.
Because PETA
You should read. They have a fan fiction.
Oh my God.
Where it's literally the entire Hunger Games.
The author of that fan fiction emailed us.
No fucking way.
Yes, I was trying to tell you this the other day, but you were hyperfixated on an email. She emailed us, and she wanted to know specifically what episode we talked about it in. And
really?
Yes, because she listened to our episodes, and she said, "I loved your episodes. When did you talk about it?"
When did we talk about it?
I think it was when they were in the cave. But just on the off chance that she's listening.
Hi. I literally stayed up all night reading it. It was really fucking good. Wow. Really fucking good. I had so much fun living the Hunger Games, but in PETA's brain, and the details that you added about his backstory and his life. I mean, truly, really, really good job. Really good. I'm clapping for you. That was really good.
Yeah. Thank you.
People are often mean about fan fiction, and I'm like,
every single episode of serialized television is fan fiction.
Truly.
Every single one. If it wasn't written by the original creator of the show, it's fan fiction.
No, I literally wrote Rugrats fan fiction. Just professionally.
Yeah. All of Star Trek The Next Generation, technically, Star Trek fan fiction. I don't give a shit.
And also,
and it's amazing.
So many things are fan fiction of other things.
Yeah, most things are.
Right? Yeah. Anyway.
Fanfic is real fiction, and I will die on that hill. It's good, it's art, it's great, and I love it.
I'm tired of people being like, such and such is not real
shut the fuck
literature
up.
or whatever. Fuck you.
Every adaptation.
That's some elitist bullshit.
Sometimes, listen, I'm going to be, not say any specific show, because we can't, but some people will drag adaptations and go, it's fan fiction. You're goddamn right it's fan fiction. You're goddamn right it's fan fiction.
Jesus.
You know what? If it wasn't written by the person who invented it in the first place, it's fucking fan fiction.
Yeah. And even if it was written by the person that wrote the original thing,
it's still a new take on it.
It's still a new take on it, and they might be in a different place in their life. I sometimes look back at stuff I've written that I thought was really fucking good at the time, and I'm like, I don't identify with this anymore.
Yep. Anyway, so all that said, we're hour 35 in on the raw
You know what,
recording.
though? I stand by it.
I'm happy about this. We're on chapter 1 of potentially 4, depending on how long this fucking thing turns out to be.
This one was a particularly long chapter, though, if I recall correctly.
It was the longest chapter.
Yeah.
This is 27 ebook pages.
And there's
the
a
other
lot
ones are
to unpack,
12,
and we have to
15,
look up
12.
apparently every character's name
Every
now.
fucking character's name.
We're on to you now, Suze. We know the Arachne myth.
The Ring twins are there. We got to look them up at some point.
The Ring twins, tell me.
Mentors. We'll get there in a second. Everyone's having a little too much fun.
It's the worst.
He watched as Arachne sliced the cheese with a mother-of-pearl-handled knife. Her tribute, the talkative girl from District 10...
Her name is Brandy.
...squatted right in front of her, eagerly leaning into the bars. Arachne made a thick sandwich, but didn't hand it right over. She seemed to be lecturing the girl about something. It was quite a speech. At one point, the girl reached through the bars, and Arachne withdrew the sandwich, drawing a laugh from the audience.
She's probably like, you know why you're in here? Let me, mansplain the Hunger Games to you, girl who's about to die in the Hunger Games.
She turned and flashed them a grin, shook a finger at her attribute, and then held out the sandwich again and pulled it away a second time, much to the crowd's amusement.
I would have slit her throat, too.
She's playing with fire there, Lucy Gray observed. Arachne waved to the crowd and then took a bite of the sandwich herself.
Oh. I mean, I'm not for killing children.
Coriolanus could see the tribute's face darkening,
But
the muscles tightening in her neck. He could see something else, too. Her fingers sliding down the bar, darting out, circling the handle of the knife. He started to rise, opening his mouth to shout out a warning, but it was too late.
Mm-hmm.
In one movement, the tribute yanked Arachne forward
Ew.
and slit her throat.
Damn. It was so funny because I was lying next to Gus as he was reading this and I hadn't read it yet. And he goes, oh, fuck. And I went, what? And he goes, you'll find out. And then literally I'm reading and I had the exact same reaction. I went,
same reaction.
Oh, fuck.
Exact same reaction. Now, did she deserve it? Children don't deserve to die.
No.
But was this
Did she fuck around and find out?
incredibly fucked up? Yes. Was it also a little bit satisfying? Yes.
Yeah.
She's not real. So, yeah.
She's not real. So she's not a real child. And this fucking Farouk assault asshole got hers.
God, this is fucked.
Especially considering all the bullshit she said about their families before.
Well, this is the thing.
I'm like, good, make your family sad then.
This is the...
It's a parallel. She's like, who cares about their families?
These 4 chapters are Mockingjay levels of fucked up.
I know, and I love it.
Mockingjay levels of fucked up.
Sue's at her finest right now.
Jeez, oh shit. Because they start puppeting her body. Like, my God, is this all fucked? But that's outside the scope of this chapter.
They start puppeting her body? What do you mean?
Her funeral, they have her body hung up on sticks.
Arachnes?
No.
Oh, no. The brandy. Yeah, they hang her from a hook.
Her body is basically puppeted above the funeral. Like, look, we got her.
Jesus.
That's why I posted Hunger Games spoilers without spoilers. I posted a grilled cheese sandwich, somebody singing, a marionette, and
oh fuck.
What's the other thing? Somebody cheating on homework. So yeah, man. Anyway, that's the really fucked up end of chapter 6.
All right. Chapter
Yes.
7, Gus.
Yes.
You have notes.
You goddamn know it. All right. Chapter 7. Notes. Does that count as a tribute being executed? Because I think that counts as a tribute being executed.
Absolutely, it counts as a tribute being executed.
Bingo.
Nice
I
job.
feel really bad about that. How the fuck did the Capitol win this fucking war?
What do you mean?
They're like, oh yeah, we had enemies in the streets and we were blockaded and we were out of food. How did these fuckers win?
That's a really
How
good
did
question.
they win to the point where they had like total oppression of everybody else after the war?
There's a part of me that's like, will Volumnia tell us?
Yeah, I get, because I'm like, how the fuck did this happen that they managed to win in such a decisive way that they could extract the Hunger Games?
Nukes?
But 13 had nukes, because my reading the main trilogy was that the Capitol was spanking the shit out of the districts.
Except for 13.
And then 13 got the nukes. And they were like,
seems
stop.
like the rebels were spanking the shit out of them.
They were blockaded. Yeah, like the Capitol was blockaded and they were basically out of food. And like there were enemies basically in the streets. Like we were to the point of the end of Mockingjay, it seems like. And somehow the Capitol came out with
Ahead.
overwhelming total victory.
That is confusing.
And I don't understand how that happened. That doesn't make sense right now. I look forward to learning more. But right now I'm kind of like, how the fuck did this turn out this way?
That's a really good point.
Corey having to wear his dad's clothes all the time while also not having been close to him is brilliant in about 7 different ways.
Yeah.
Because he's constantly in the shadow of this guy he didn't care about. But also, if we're keeping the vaguely patriarchal tone of most of Western culture, he also has to live up to the family name, which is usually going to be indicated by how well can he live up to what his father did, his father who died in the war. And again, if we're keeping up with sort of the westernized ideals, makes him, He died in the war, ergo he's probably a hero of some sort, right?
Right.
So having Corey constantly wearing his clothes, which are a little
Including
bit
his,
too
like,
big for him.
Military clothes.
Yeah, explicitly his military clothes is very loaded imagery, and I like that.
Very loaded.
Rose count, 5.
Yep.
It's pretty fucked up that Snow watched his buddy die, and he prioritized how he came across on camera, but at least Snow also understands that that's pretty fucked up.
There's a lot to unpack about that.
Dear Arachne Hansen over here.
Well, that's that thing, right? Where it's like, you know, sometimes these influencers and stuff will take videos of them like crying so prettily. Mm-hmm. It always kind of fucks with me. I'm always a little like, you know, the last thing I've ever thought when I'm crying is I got to video the shit out of this. You know what I mean?
It's rough.
It's a little like, ugh.
Which ties in with the note I just read. I don't know if you heard it or not.
Oh, no, tell me.
Dear Arachne Hansen over here.
Yeah. I Googled the plot of that because I've never seen the musical.
There's a musical called Dear Evan Hansen. Big Broadway
I mean
musical.
this in the most respectful way I can. What the fuck?
Yeah.
He's the hero?
I'm not going to get into it. Look it up. Look it up. Dear Evan Hansen. I just realized that my Katniss Mentors Prim idea for catching fire is basically what this book is.
In what way?
It's a book about somebody mentoring somebody else and navigating the internal politics of the Capitol.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
So I feel quite good about that. Thank you for hitting the button with your toe. Very thoughtful. These fucking idiots think they're going to cancel the Hunger Games because a child died. Do y'all understand what the Hunger Games are?
This is a good point.
Because they're like, oh my God, Arachne, oh my God. Well, maybe they'll just send them all home.
God,
I don't know,
hope
man.
so.
This is a tragedy. What do you think they'll do? And I'm like, have you motherfuckers turned on the television?
They clearly don't have that much
Ever?
of an issue with children dying.
Poison count, maybe 1. And
Oh?
it was 1. The snakes.
Oh, the snakes. Yeah.
No, wait, that is this chapter, yeah.
Okay, here I go. What did Sejanus put on the dead tribute?
Yeah!
What was with the white powder
Rat
thing?
poison.
Why?
So the rats don't eat her corpse. That's my read, because they start talking about rat poison.
I thought maybe, but I was like,
But
what
it
a
feels weirdly
strange
loaded.
thing to think of.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was odd. And I feel like it's meant to be odd. Huh. It's almost as if the horror you feel is what the kids feel in the games.
Huh.
Zero self-reflection in that. Zero.
Huh.
I don't know how people can be this not self-reflective. Because I am like 24 hours a day going like, am I the bad guy? Did I fuck up? Like, am I the worst? Am I a bad person? To the point where my therapist had to be like, you know, hon, like people who are that bad, don't worry about whether or not they're that bad. And I was like, oh, but I couldn't, like, I don't understand it because I'm like, remember that one time you told a lie when you were 5? Think about that forever. I have messaged people in the dead of night being like, remember 14 years ago when I did this thing? Did I make you feel this way? If I did, I'm really sorry. And they're like, I don't know who you are. I'm feeling like there are some parallels to be drawn both between kudzu and grandmam, as someone brought up in our Discord, but also Highbottom and Haymitch.
Oh, yeah.
Being forced to witness a bunch of kids die year after year, and it's your fault, so you develop an addiction.
Little bit.
And then kind of like a hatred, but also mentorship
Except
to
this time,
some kid.
He's the villain.
Yeah.
Haymitch was never the villain. Haymitch.
Though is
my
Highbottom the
hero.
villain? Because, I mean, he's the villain to Coriolanus, but I'm like kind of on Highbottom's side at this point.
Yes, but if this is Coriolanus' story, which
Then
it is.
he is an antagonist, yeah.
Which I think it is. He is the villain in Coriolanus' story.
For now.
Yes.
We're getting the names of the tributes now. Seems like District 2 has definitely not become a capital darling yet. Because the names...
Yeah.
Pull up the names right now of the District 1, 2, and 4 kids.
All right.
Because their names in the Hunger Games trilogy are wait, can I say?
Yeah.
Are like capital bullshit. They're either like
Casca. No.
Effie Trinket type shit, or they're
what do we
like
have?
Cato, Clove,
Glimmer, Cato,
Marvel,
Clove,
and Glimmer.
Marvel, Inabaria, Brutus.
Yeah, so they're either like super
Very
Roman
Romanized.
or they're like super frou-frou.
Okay, well, District 1 is Facet and Velverine.
So that one felt more
Those feel
like
on
District
brand.
1.
Marcus, yes.
Oh, is Marcus? Well, I guess Marcus
District 2
Aurelius.
is Marcus, yes. And
I was just thinking-
Sabin, Sabyn. I don't know that name. Not getting anything.
I've got an American filmmaker.
Sabin Rome is just a Hunger Games. So, nope,
So don't
not
read that.
gonna read that. And then District Form is District
Wait,
Form.
hold on. We can get name meaning in here. Oh, Sabine.
Oh, Sabine. Okay, yeah.
Oh, well, that's
French.
mean Roman. But isn't there some sort of like really awful story? The Sabines were an Italic people who lived in the mountains. They were divided into two populations just after the founding of Rome. Oh yeah, this is what I was thinking of. The cactusing of the Sabine women.
Did we talk about this? I thought it was Sabian women.
Sabine.
Oh, Sabian, yeah, okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That doesn't say great things for her.
No.
Okay.
District 3, which is electricity and computers, is Cirque, like circuit, and Tesla.
Like Tesla.
Tesla, yeah. And then District 4 is Mizzen and Coral.
Oh, well, Coral, I mean, it's the fishing district, right? That's where Fennec's from and Mags.
Yeah, Mizzen mast.
Oh, okay. There you go.
District 5 is Power, and it's High and Soul.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah, District 6 is Transportation, is Otto and Ginny. Otto.
Ginny. Auto would be like automobile.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. That's clever. Ginny, I don't know what Ginny is.
When we're done with this, I want to look into the mentors.
Yeah, we gotta do that.
Virginia Transportation Corporation.
Oh, there's an Iphigenia.
I know.
Oh, buddy.
I saw that.
Oh,
I did see that when we were
buddy.
when
if
I was
you've read
reading.
any fucking Greek plays ever, you know all the shit about Iphigenia.
I think about Iphigenia. You know what? Iphigenia is my
your
Roman
Roman
Empire.
Empire?
I
Yeah.
think about her maybe like once a week. Like just how fucked up that story is and how she must have felt. And like, especially after reading Song of Achilles, I think about it all the time.
Iphigenia is the daughter that Agamemnon sacrificed when they were becalmed at sea, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
In the
they could
Trojan
go,
War.
so that they could go invade
Get
Troy.
to Troy, yeah. District 7, which is trees, is Treech.
You know, they can't all be winners, Suze.
And Lamina.
Lamina.
Like laminate, I guess? Treech is a god of war in Malazan, but that I don't think she's referencing Malazan.
The lamina of a leaf.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, the leaf blade.
District 8 is clothing, right?
Your memory
Based on-
is absolutely wild.
Based on the names Bobbin
Oh, yeah.
and Wovey.
Okay. Yep. And Katniss is like, District 1 and 2 have such stupid names for their
Truly.
kids.
District 9 is grain, it says. Panlo and sheaf. Makes sense.
I don't know what fishing with Finnick. What's...
4, right?
Oh. Wait, sorry. What? Yeah, he's 4. But I can't find anything about fishing in Finnick.
District 10 is livestock. It's Tanner and Brandy. Makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
District 11 is farming, Reaper, and Dill. Makes sense. And then Jessup and Lucy Gray, because I guess for Appalachia, she just went Appalachia at this point.
Yeah.
Because, like, we read Winter's Bone. Aren't there, like, 11 Jessups in Winter's Bone?
I think it is Jessup, yeah. Maybe she just watched Winter's Bone.
Because I remember there being, like a shitload of Jessups in Winter's Bone.
Yeah, because
It's set
everybody
in
names
Appalachia,
their
and it
kid
also
after their
has-
dad or something like that. It's
Yeah.
like So there's like 45 Jessups.
It also has, well, never mind. We can't talk about the movie.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a book.
Yes, but I was going to say who stars in the film, and I can't.
Well,
even if it
might be.
Yeah, might have some overlap.
Might be a Katniss.
Might.
It's a really good movie.
We can't talk about it.
Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. I really am. Okay. Well, can we look at the tributes, though? I mean, the mentors.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we're going to have to take a break after the ads. After the notes.
No, but this is important. Okay.
Nor.
This is going to help me with my theories about what will happen.
Do you want me to read it for you?
Well, okay. First of all, Livia Drusilla, Livia Cardew was... So Livia Drusilla...
the people who have read the book are screaming, it doesn't matter. Well, maybe it does.
Definitely does.
Maybe it does.
I believe it does. Divorced Tiberius Claudius Nero and married the political leader Octavian, who was later granted the title Augustus.
Oh, God. Is this going to be Snow's
effectively making
wife?
him emperor.
Is Livia
this
Snow's
is what I'm worried
fucking
about.
wife?
I was thinking about it. Livia, because we know he has a granddaughter.
God
Livia
damn it.
then became the Roman empress. In this role, she served as an influential confidant of her husband and was rumored to have been responsible for the deaths of a number of Augustus's relatives, including his grandson, Agrippa Postumus.
Because I've had enough of this dude.
Yeah, so I'm worried about that. Okay, next one.
Palmyra?
Can I see the
Palmyra Monte.
It's a plant or a city. It's an ancient city now in the center of modern Syria. It was a subject of the Roman Empire in the 1st century AD.
Okay. Sejanus. We know him.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
I'm just making sure there's nothing interesting. There is not. So Palmyra must not be that interesting.
Sejanus, we know him. Florus.
Was that the
This means
fuckhead?
flower.
Was that the fuckhead who was like, we should make them bet?
No, that was Festus.
Okay. Oh, he
Festus, which makes sense.
was
Festus.
an ancient Roman poet, orator, and author.
All right.
Hold on. Just making sure there's nothing interesting about him. There isn't, so I'm going to assume that he is not an interesting character.
And then Io Jasper. Io is the one with cow, the cow, right? The cow with a million eyes.
Yeah, she gets...
Zeus.
Wait.
Something Zeus is horny.
Hold on.
Right? Io is a horny Zeus story, which is most of Greek mythology.
She was a priestess of Hera who became one of Zeus's lovers.
Yes. What with the cow? The cow with a bajillion eyes. That's Io, isn't it?
That sounds right, but hold on.
Because like Hera gets
Nomenclature.
suspicious and covers a cow with eyes.
Hold on.
Very
I'm
Lovecraftian.
on the planet, so I'm trying to find the...
One of the mortal lovers of Zeus.
Okay, hold on.
Also a moon of Jupiter, as are most of them. Oh, here it is. She's the daughter of one suggestion is that she's the daughter of Inachus and retells the story of Zeus falling in love with Io, the legendary wrath of Hera, and the metamorphosis by which Io becomes a white heifer. At another instance, several generations later... What was the eyes? There was something about eyes.
She was turned into a cow.
Yeah, she turned into a cow. Hera sent Argus Panoptes, a giant who had 100 eyes, to watch Io and prevent Zeus. That was it. It was a guy with a bunch of eyes watching Io to keep Zeus from visiting her. And then the cow didn't have eyes. The giant had eyes. Y'all, Greek myths are fucked. I love them so much. I need to reread Percy Jackson. And also Dolores' Book of Greek Myths, which is what taught me most of this shit when I was like 10. I loved Dolores' Greek of Book Myths. What did I just say? Dolores' Book of Greek Myths. Dolores' Greek of Book Myths. This podcast is brought to you by Dolores' Greek of Book Myths. Very professional.
Okay, yeah. No, Hera put the giant to watch. Yeah, okay.
To make sure Zeus didn't bang her.
Yeah.
Because that's all he ever did.
Oh my God, truly, like the most useless god ever.
Urban Canville.
Urban.
Which is just a word.
Person. Just checking. Yeah, I'm not finding anything.
Persephone Price.
Oh, well.
We all know who Persephone is. Persephone being the daughter of Demeter.
Who gets pulled into the underworld.
Yeah, Hades kidnaps her, and then she eats a pomegranate, and then she has to go back there 3 months out of the year.
Yeah, and has to marry
which is why winter is
the
a
god
thing.
of death. Okay, well, that can't possibly matter.
Have you played Hades yet? You haven't played Hades
No.
yet. You should play Hades.
With Io, I'm like, was she like the fatted cow or something like that for slaughter or what? Like, I don't know.
Listen.
I don't
Arachne
think
died.
these necessarily.
No, not all of them are going to matter.
Yeah, and I also don't think necessarily they all like die or something. But
I mean, 2 of them are dead or near dead within the first fifth of the book.
Clemency and Arachne.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, and she didn't get clemency,
she did not.
so her name's ironic.
God damn it. Suze, if you're listening, you're not. You're a genius.
Damn it. Okay, next one. Give me another.
I quake in fear of the idea that Suze might listen. Festus Creed. Festus. Party, festivity, Festus. It's in the name.
Hold on. Yeah, he's a party, but there's also a guy named Porcius Festus. Let's find out about him. He was not that important. Oh wait. Oh, he tried to fuck with Paul, the apostle. Okay. So he seems like a real winner.
Dennis Fling.
Let me see the name.
Dennis
Just Dennis.
Fling.
So I feel like he's probably not that
It's
important.
Dennis.
Okay.
It's Glenn Howerton. Iphigenia Moss.
Fuck. I don't feel good about her.
Yeah. If you don't know who Iphigenia is, when they were going to go and fuck up Troy because of the whole thing with Helen, who was Menelaus' wife, who...
Oh, you know what?
What?
There's an explosion at the end of this. I bet some of the mentors die.
Oh,
in
could
the
be.
explosion.
Yeah.
So I'm not feeling good about Iphigenia,
No, I'm not feeling good
Io.
about Iphigenia or Io.
Persephone.
So if you don't know who Iphigenia is, there's this whole thing. There's this thing called the Trojan War. You may have heard of it, which happened long and the short of
We
it.
already explained Iphigenia.
Well, I feel like we can get into more detail because we're already 2 hours in. And if they're still here, they're into detail. So
okay.
there was this thing called the Trojan War, and essentially what happened was 3 goddesses decided to ask this dude which one of them was the most desirable. And what was it? It was Hera, Aphrodite, and...
Oh, we're idiots.
Who was the other... What?
The ring siblings, guess what their names are?
What?
Apollo and Diana.
Oh, God damn it. So it's Apollo and Artemis, because Diana's just Artemis,
yeah,
but
she's just
Roman.
Artemis, but Roman.
Yeah, okay, so there you go. It's Apollo and Artemis.
Yeah.
Hunter and Huntress.
Yeah, because you were like, we should look up their names. Oh, we don't need to.
Apollo and Diana, that's straightforward.
Yeah.
Who were the 3 goddesses who was the third one? It was Hera, Aphrodite, and whom?
Hera,
Not
Aphrodite.
Artemis. That wouldn't make sense.
It
was the golden apple.
Well, was it? It wouldn't have been fucking Athena, would it? Because I know she was involved in the Trojan War in some way. Because she was mad. She was mad. I think
It was
that
Athena.
it was Athena.
Yeah, the
Okay,
Judgment of
look
Paris.
at me. I thought maybe.
Not to be confused with the historical wine event, the Judgment of Paris.
Oh,
This is the Greek mythological event, the Judgment of Paris. So these 3 goddesses asked Paris, hey, which one of us is the most desirable? The fairest, rather. And he picked Aphrodite because Aphrodite promised to give him the hottest woman ever. And so she makes Helen of Troy, at the time, just Helen of Sparta, fall in love with him. And so Helen falls in love with him. But when Helen married Menelaus, this is a thing I've always wanted to do, which is Gus drunkenly recounts Greek history. If you're listening, I'm sorry. So Helen, when she was getting married, initially all of the Aegeans, the Greeks, decided and agreed, like, hey, Helen's the hottest woman. She's hot shit. She's like the hottest lady of all time. So what we're going to do is whoever she picks, if anybody ever like tries to cart her off, we're all going to go to war to get her back, because that'll keep any one of us from trying to, go fully Crown of Swords on this shit and abduct Helen. So great, Helen, who you feeling? And she's like, I'm feeling Menelaus. Menelaus is cool. He's a Spartan. So, let's go team Menelaus. And then she marries Menelaus. And then Aphrodite does the whole shit at the Judgment of Paris. And she's like, well, Helen is hot shit right now. So Helen is going to be the one who goes and falls in love with Paris, who lives in Ilium, a.k.a. Troy, which is why it's called the Iliad. And so Helen fucks off to Troy, and all of the Aegeans, Argives, Greeks, whatever, are like, what the fuck? Well, we made this pact. Let's fucking roll. And so they all hop on some boats, and they start sailing around the Mediterranean to get to Troy. But midway there, they are becalmed. I don't remember if it's because Poseidon decides he's an asshole, because Poseidon's usually an asshole in Greek mythology. But they're becalmed, and Agamemnon, who is kind of like the de facto leader of this whole thing for some reason, he's like, well, I don't know, man. I guess I better just sacrifice my daughter to get the winds going again. So he just does that. He just kills his daughter so that the winds pick up again.
I think about this all the
And
time.
they
really
do pick up
me.
again, but then, spoiler alert, that's why the Oresteia happens, is because he gets back to... where is Agamemnon from?
Oh, fuck.
Which city-state is that?
It's not Sparta.
No, it's not Athens. It's not Sparta.
It's, fuck. I know it too.
Mycenaean.
Oh, yeah.
Mycenae.
The Mycenaeans.
So he gets back to his home city, and his wife is like, "Hey, motherfucker, how you doing? Welcome home." And then she and her new lover kill Aegisthus. She and Aegisthus kill him in like at the banquet to welcome him home, because he sacrificed his daughter Iphigenia, but then his son Orestes decides to take revenge on his wife. And also, he brings home Cassandra, right? Is that Cassandra? Cassandra's in the Oresteia.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, wife, I killed our daughter. Also, here's my new mistress lover.
Oh, yeah.
The prophetess Cassandra, who always tells the truth but is never believed. And Cassandra is like, she's going to kill you. And he's like, ha, ha, ha,
no,
funny
she won't.
story. And so then Clytemnestra and Aegisthus kill Agamemnon, and then Orestes,
her son,
her and Agamemnon's son, kills her with the encouragement of Electra, Agamemnon's other daughter. And then there's all this shit where like the Furies are like, hey, Orestes, time to die, bitch, because you're the worst and you shouldn't have done a matricide. And it's like, well, no, but also, this whole thing was pretty fucked up.
Clytemnestra was absolutely a victim.
Yeah, Aegisthus is the bad guy here, and so is Agamemnon, and, it was all pretty bad. Everybody was having a bad time. Hot take, people were having a bad time in ancient Greece. If you ever get the chance to see a play called All Are Tragic, you won't, because it was done twice in Chicago. It's 12 hours long. It's all of the surviving Greek plays done in a row, but like heavily adapted to be really fucking entertaining. It's the best thing I've ever seen. Anyway, we're way overdue for ads, so we're going to take a quick break for ads. Welcome back. Allie, are we still talking about names?
Yeah, hold
Good.
on. I'm looking everybody up. Okay.
How long did I talk about Greek myths?
For like a minute, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
This is what happens when I drink.
One, this is something that you love
I
to do.
love doing this.
Oh, uh-oh. Hold on. Okay, so Vipsania was betrothed by Augustus and her father to Tiberius. They had a happy marriage, and then Augustus ordered the two to divorce so that he could marry Augustus's daughter. Okay, I'm not sure how this would factor in, but possible. Okay, and then we got Pliny the Younger, specifically shouted out as Pliny the Younger, which I feel like she was just like having a laugh.
She was really leaning in on that one.
Yeah. He was just a famous lawyer. Oh, this is funny. And his letters to Trajan provide one of the few surviving records of the relationship between the imperial office and provincial governors. Huh, interesting.
All right.
Not sure if that matters. And then we've got Juno, which is just Hera. So she seems like she's going to be a
Juno
fucking
is
treat.
Hera, yeah.
Yeah, she'll be a fucking treat. she'll be a pain in our ass if, she matters at all.
Might do.
Well, if she has the personality of Hera anyway. Hera was kind of an asshole.
Her husband was fucking everything that moved.
Yeah, but then she would do things like turn them into shit and kill all their children. Like,
yes.
they were,
listen,
neither of them was a particularly good spouse.
Hot take, none of the Greek gods were particularly good people, with the possible exception of Hephaestus.
I thought Hestia seemed all right, too.
Hestia doesn't get a lot of press.
Let me just, exactly.
She's just the goddess of the hearth.
She's no drama. She's no drama. She just wants to stoke her little fires.
Hephaestus is cool because he was just horrendously ugly and then got married to Aphrodite.
Yeah, and then Aphrodite cheated on him with Ares, and then he bound them together with chains.
It's great. Oh my God, I love that part of the Odyssey. Hephaestus does... I gotta stop. I'm sorry, I've been drinking. I have to stop talking about Greek mythology.
Okay, would you like to hear about some others?
Please.
Pope Hilarious. So Hilarious
it's so
Havensby.
Fucking funny though. God damn it. All right, I cannot relay this myth right now.
This is interesting.
It's so funny though.
Much of his pontificate was spent in maintaining ecclesiastical discipline in conformity with canon law and in settling jurisdictional disputes among the bishops of both Gaul and Spain.
So he was a religious diplomat.
Yeah, he was like rules.
That was a lot of $5 words there, and I like that happened.
Gaius is the Greek spelling for the male Roman
Gaius
named
fracking Baltar.
Caius.
Well, wait, I can't talk about that. God damn it.
And it doesn't seem like he did anything that interesting. Well, at least not interesting, in terms of this. But we have to check. But I'm not feeling good about Iphigenia's chances of surviving the explosion. Or Persephone's, really. Or Ios. But definitely not Iphigenia. Iphigenia's dead. No question.
That's what happens when your name is fucking Iphigenia.
Yeah, honestly, your parents brought that on you. It's a bad luck name. No offense to any Iphigenias out there.
I don't think there are a ton.
Why not? The name flows off the tongue.
Definitely not cursed.
Yeah, it flows off the tongue and is definitely cursed. So, why wouldn't you name your kid that? Androcles
that is a new one to me.
The main character of a common folk tale about a man befriending a lion.
All right.
Sure.
What district is he representing? 9?
9?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. Domitia became empress upon her husband's ascension and remained so until his assassination, but does not appear to be particularly interesting. Felix, he's the god of luck, so who knows? Maybe his girl will get super lucky at some point. Lysistrata.
Huh. Well, that one's loaded.
Which one was the girl that Snow was like, she's really hot, but I just keep thinking about her dad eating the maid?
Fuck. Was it Clemencia? I think it was Clemencia.
Was it Clemencia?
No. Oh, shit. Was it? Fuck.
I want to...
No. Yeah, because that... shit. I don't think it was Lysistrata. I feel like I would have remembered if it was Lysistrata.
Well, Lysistrata is tiny.
For the folks at home, do you want to remind people what's up?
Clemencia's tribute is also the one who wanted to strangle him in the truck.
Yes.
And didn't. So again, clemency.
For the folks at home, do you want to remind everybody who Lysistrata is?
Well, it's more of a place, isn't it?
Well, mythologically, what is the significance of Lysistrata?
Lysistrata, all of the women in this one town area were like, we've had it up to here with the men and their wars. We're going to stop having sex with them until they quit their bullshit.
Yeah.
There's an idea.
There were 3 Greek playwrights whose work has survived. Aristophanes, Sophocles, and Eumenides. Aristophanes was the oldest one. He wrote a comedy called Lysistrata. It is exactly what Ali said.
Wait, hold on. Lysistrata was the daughter of physicians who treated the president. and she was lucky to get the mentorship. I wonder if we'll learn more about that. Hopefully it is not sad. And they keep saying things about being rebels. Ugh. I'm trying to find the thing. Sorry.
You're good.
Persephone.
Persephone is the one who was fucking...
Who's,
oh,
yeah.
man.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's certainly going to the underworld and then coming back. Doing cannibalism.
Yeah. She's prettier than
Accidentally or
any girl
otherwise.
in this year.
She ate something without realizing what it was.
She ate something without realizing what it was.
Fuck. God damn it, Suze. God damn it. Oh, she's good at this.
Oh, my God. I'm going to have to sit with that for a second. Sorry.
She ate something without realizing what it was.
Okay, so that really spells not good things for Iphigenia. That
Iphigenia
the world
is
just
fucked,
exploded.
bro. Iphigenia
yeah,
is
Iphigenia
done.
is fucked next chapter. I'm predicting it right now.
Now, it's also very possible that Suzanne Collins just pulled a bunch of Roman Roman Greek names out of a bag.
Not with what happened with Persephone, Arachne.
No, Arachne dying because of hubris. Arachne dying because she was confident about something and was like, I can get away with this. I'm better at this than most people.
Volumnia.
By the way, if you don't know Arachne, here we go. Arachne.
All right, last
one. Boy, this is what happens when you let me drink and talk on the podcast. This was you wanted to go ahead with this, Allie. This is your fault.
You're right. It is my fault.
No, it's not. That's not true. So Arachne is a Greek myth about hubris. Arachne, you may recognize her name as being relevant to Arachnid because she was a weaver and she was adamant that she was the best weaver ever, possibly even better than the gods.
That's a mistake.
She kept talking about that, and the gods heard about this. Notably, Athena heard about this, who was, among other things, basically like goddess of weaving because they would just kind of collect things.
I mean, she's kind of my favorite.
She's kind of the coolest one. You got to read Percy Jackson. And so Athena decides to come down to Earth and is like, hey, Arachne, knock, knock, knock. What's up? Want to have a weave off? And Arachne goes, fuck yeah, I do. I'm better than everybody. And they have a weave off. And Arachne actually wins the weave off. And Athena does not take kindly to this because she's like, well, I am the goddess of weaving and you are a jumped up little fuck. And I hate you. So she turns into a spider.
Yeah.
That's the Arachne story.
So it's basically a fuck around and find out story.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Arachne won.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fucked up of Athena to do that.
Well, it was kind of fucked up of Brandy to cut Arachne's
Kind of fucked
throat,
up. Yeah, a little fucked
but
up.
at the same time, it was kind of fucked up of Arachne to taunt her with food.
Bit very.
So, no one's the good one here.
All right.
Just like in the story.
Shall we dive in 2 hours-ish plus 2-something hours in?
Chapter 7?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Chapter 7, Gus.
I feel like this isn't going to take that long. We did pause between literally 10 seconds ago and now. It's the next day. Hello.
Hi.
And yeah, I feel like this isn't going to take that long because we already talked about most of this.
Well, I think we agreed that we're going to split this into two parts also.
Absolutely.
Considering we spent an inordinate amount of time Googling names.
I don't regret anything.
Which I feel like was interesting.
I loved it.
I feel like that needed to happen so that we could make more predictions.
I had a great time. I have no regrets about that.
Volumnia.
I do have regrets about drinking a beer while recording the last part because I did feel quite poorly this morning.
You did. All right. Ready?
Yes.
Shrieks came from the audience members nearest to the attack.
Terrible.
Arachne's face drained of color as she dropped the sandwich and clawed at her neck in a well-deserved moment of karma. That's verbatim right out of here.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
Sure.
The blood poured down her fingers as the District 10 girl released her and gave her a small shove. Arachne stepped back, turning and reaching out a dripping hand, imploring the audience for help. People were either too stunned or too scared to respond. Many drew away as she fell to her knees and began to bleed out. Bystander effect at its finest.
This is a LaCroix. Yeah, a lot of bystander effect here, and Lucy Gray once again being on the ball.
Anus's initial reaction was to recoil like the others. A recoiling anus. If your anus recoils, you should see a doctor. To grab hold of the monkey house bars for support. But Lucy Gray hissed, "Help her." Or wait, no, because she's Southern. "Help her." He remembered the cameras streaming live to the Capitol audience. He had no idea what to do for Arachne, but he did not want to be seen cringing and clinging.
Yeah.
His terror was a private thing, not meant for public display. This is reminding me of Katniss. Like how many times she had to like, she knew the cameras were watching and the sponsors were watching, so she had to like put on a show
It's
like
all that
she was
shit
fine.
all over again.
So, you know, he runs at her and it's awful because she like clutches his shirt as she's dying. He tries to
like hold the blood in. That obviously doesn't work, but he's trying.
Well, yeah, I don't know what you do in this situation.
There's basically nothing you can do.
There's basically nothing. Yeah. Okay. I mean, like pressure on the wound?
Not really, because then she chokes. I mean,
right.
If he cut those arteries,
cut
you're pretty much done.
The artery. Yeah, you're fucked. But the badass District 10 girl, Coriolanus glanced over in time to see.
She did a murder. I mean,
but this part's badass. Coriolanus glanced over in time to see the District 10 girl retrieve the cheese sandwich and take a furious bite before the bullets pierced her body, slamming her into the bars. She slipped into a heap as her blood commingled with Arachne's.
I'm going to call this a tribute being executed.
Bits of half-chewed food fell from her mouth and floated in the red pool.
You don't want that.
Nah.
You don't want any of this. All this is bad.
Oh, and so the crowd is panicking and running. I don't really know why they're panicking because it's not like any of the kids can do anything. But, I mean, I guess people are shooting.
Yeah, well, yeah. And if you watch somebody's throat get cut, your monkey brain would also be like, I should get out of here right now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true.
I don't think this is necessarily a rational, oh, well, they're enclosed. It's more of a, wait a minute, these critters that we thought were critters, these people that we thought were, docile and here to entertain us, want to kill us. Let's leave.
Well, when you're starving them to death and then you mock them with food, I can kind of understand why they would want to kill you. Oh my God, they want to kill us? We've been so nice to them so far. Yeah. And Festus is there. Wasn't Festus the one who was like, maybe we execute them?
Yeah, I think it was meant to be hyperbolic, but yeah.
Yeah. But he's equally as useless. Lucy Gray, people are getting trampled. Lucy Gray is huddled against the bars of the cage, shaking. And he has a trauma flashback.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about this.
The wash of blood, the whiz of bullets, the screams in the crowd all caused flashbacks to the worst moments of his childhood. Rebel boots pounding through the streets. He and the grandmam pinned down by gunfire, dying, the bodies twitching around them. His mother on the blood-stained bed. The stampedes during the food riots. The smashed faces. The moaning people.
All these folks have gone through some shit.
It's been a rough time.
Fuck the Capitol. But that sucks, man.
Yeah. And they lift Arachne onto a stretcher, and they're helping people who have been wounded.
Because people got trampled, yeah.
And everyone gets kind of shoved to the exit.
Yeah.
And he's walking with Festus. Neither knew what to say. Arachne hadn't been his favorite person, but she'd always been in his life. They'd played as babies, been at birthday parties, stood on ration lines, attended classes together. She'd been dressed head to toe in black lace at his mother's funeral, and he'd cheered her brother's graduation only last year. As part of the wealthy old guard of the capital, she was family. And you didn't have to like your family. The bond was a given.
Mm.
Oh, it sucks when a 1%er bites it, doesn't it?
Hey, she was 16. I mean, fuck her.
She was mocking her with a sandwich.
Listen, I'm not...
Turnabout's fair play. Fuck around and find out, Arachne.
I agree with you, but also, it's a little brutal.
She's fictional.
Okay, fine. Fuck Arachne.
Fuck Arachne. The spider got squished. All right, yes, she is 16, and yes, I suppose
it's
that
okay.
makes
Fuck
it a
Arachne.
tragedy, but still,
all the
fuck
homies
her.
hate Arachne.
She at least deserved to be decked in the face.
Oh yeah,
definitely deserved to get decked in the face.
Yes,
I'm not a personal fan of murdering people, but there are some people who deserve to get decked in the face.
Yeah,
just one. Just one.
One punch.
One punch.
Yeah.
And what they like, they just have that face that looks like they just need to be punched in the fucking face.
Well,
what I'm talking about?
Snow, definitely.
Snow, absolutely.
It's less of a face.
Arachne for sure.
It's less of a facial thing and more of a state of being.
It's not that it's what their face looks like. It's the smugness behind the face.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
that comes out of the face, and you're like, that person has such a punchable fucking face.
I
But it's
understand.
it's not the features. It's what you can read from the face. You're like, ooh, something about you sucks.
I understand.
9 times out of 10, I'm right. The other times I feel bad. Oh, and Festus tells them to come to his place, but then he starts crying once they reach the apartment, so they would just put him in the elevator.
Because, like, for all this guy's talking about executions, it's very different when you watch someone die, I feel like, versus,
Yeah. I wonder how he feels about his execution plan now.
I don't think he ever really meant it. I think he was just like, this would be an extreme thing to do.
And then he walks Clemencia home, and then he remembers the assignment.
Oh, yeah, and she's like, well, there's no way they're actually gonna make us do that, right? She's like, well...
Yeah, Clemencia's like, there's no way. Yeah, she would make us do that. And I go, yeah, I mean, if she weren't a fucking monster, but she's a fucking monster.
If these people were like normal humans with consciences, that's another thing, but they're not.
And Coriolanus agrees with me because on the way home, he thought about Dr. Gall. She would be just the type to penalize them for missing such a deadline, regardless of the circumstances. Maybe you should write something up to be on the safe side. And Grandmam is flipping a fucking baby.
And being very classist and racist.
She's like
all
railing
the
about the districts, airing out a black dress for Arachne's funeral. And she like flies at him and like pats him all over, and Tigris is crying. And Coriolanus has to reassure them, which feels wrong.
Yeah, but I understand this happening.
I know, but like, because he was there, it feels like they should be comforting him.
Yeah, they should be, but I understand why that's not what's happening.
Which makes me feel like he's a bit parentified. Stop making me feel for this boy. I order you, Suze, to stop it.
I don't think he's being parentified. I think they're traumatized by what happened as well. They're having flashbacks as well.
Totally.
They do not know how best to help him in this situation. So,
I suppose what I am reacting to is as someone who has been traumatized, but then had to comfort the family members who were impacted, but maybe not as impacted as me, the person that it had directly happened to.
Sure, yeah.
I feel for him because I know how this
I feel
feels.
for him. Yeah, I get it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you're like, I'm the one who
y'all
fucking
should be,
watched her
me.
die and like tried to hold her neck together. So maybe you can just pull yourself together for me.
Breathe.
But I get it. I mean, I get it from their perspective too. It's hard because it's not like they're doing anything wrong. It's just like, hey, real fast though, maybe we could be comforting the person who was directly impacted by the event. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's not, it's like, it's the kudzu thing, right? Where it's like, yeah, she wasn't doing a great thing, but she was traumatized. So like, But yeah, so then he takes a shower and washes her blood off. Woof. And he's like, the rose-scented powder isn't going to help. There you go, Gus.
Rose
you
count.
got that rose
5.
count.
Rose count 5.
So he does the assignment because he thinks that will kind of like help make him feel normal. Reflecting
Which
on
is
the
a
classroom discussion.
fair
Sorry.
thing. No,
what
I'm
does
good.
What does he kind of start to write about?
I mean, he comes up with gifts, essentially. He says you can't give gifts if you're directly involved. I don't remember how he loops in betting, but he comes up with the concept of gifts and things being variably more valuable than other things. It primarily revolves around food because he's seeing how starved all of the kids are, and he's like, this is stupid, and this is not going to work, and this is a bad idea.
Yeah, so here's my thing. I feel like young Anus has the potential to be like a high bottom in this moment where he's like coming up with ideas, right? And then he's like, oh my God, what have I done? I made the games like more interesting to people.
Yeah, but I think he's actively going to do that and is actively okay with that. And he's going to actively get more and more okay with that.
Well, because we know his trajectory.
Because we know where he goes, yeah.
So yeah, in other words, reflecting on the classroom discussion with Dr. Gall and the electricity in the audience when they'd fed the starving tributes at the zoo, he focused on the food. For the first time, sponsors would be able to buy items, a piece of bread, a chunk of cheese, to be delivered by drone to a specific tribute.
That guy's a fucking umbrella or parachutes already.
A panel would be established to review the nature and value of each item. It's kind of interesting. We're getting a kind of background look as to how that works. Because obviously we just see Katniss and Peeta receiving them.
Right.
A sponsor would have to be a capital citizen in good standing who was not directly related to the games. This ruled out game makers, mentors, peacekeepers assigned to guard the tributes, and any of the aforementioned parties' immediate family members. So that makes me wonder how the whole District 11 giving bread thing works, but maybe they like lessened the rules of that over the years.
Because
right
they were
like they're too poor anyway.
Citizen of the capital. So right now it's only because right now they're primarily marketing this towards the capital and they're like forcing the districts to watch. But I feel like down the line they will reach a point where they're like, oh, and now actually the people back in the districts we can manipulate them to make them watch it to be like, oh, please don't die, my child.
Right. We can make more money off of their like desperate attempts to save their children.
Oh, it's so
Horrible.
uplifting.
Okay. When it came to his idea of betting, he suggested a second panel to create a venue that would allow capital citizens to officially wager on the victor, establish the odds, and oversee the payments to the winners. Proceeds from either program would be funneled toward the costs of the games, making them essentially free for the government of Panem. Oh my gosh, that's so helpful.
Finance.
So he works all night, basically.
Yeah, because he can't sleep because he's deeply traumatized.
And he goes to the Citadel, which houses the War Department, because she also works there. And so, he gives it to the peacekeepers to put on her desk. And then he just kind of walks around a bit, thinking about the trauma. And he sees, like, it's being played over and over again on the TV.
On the TV, I know.
Probably because it's great for the propaganda department.
I am sure. How horrible.
Because I bet they're like, they killed a child of ours. Think about your own children and how angry that would make you. Now we should hate them more and like really capitalize on this to bring out interest in the Hunger Games because they killed one of our children. So now it's totally justified that we kill some of theirs.
22 more of theirs because the one's already fucking dead.
Yeah, and I bet it dehumanizes the district kids more.
A little bit.
Again and again, they aired the tribute slitting Arachne's throat, him helping her, and the gunning down of the murderer. He felt strangely detached from the action, as if all his emotional reserve had been depleted by his brief outburst in the shower. Since his initial reaction to Arachne's death had been somewhat lacking, he was relieved to see that the cameras had only recorded his attempt to save her, the moments when he appeared brave and responsible, because we're going to make our kids look real good.
Yeah, it's really important. It's fucked up that this is what they got to focus on. Mm-hmm. Or choosing to. Both, whatever.
He was particularly pleased to catch a quick shot of Livia Cardew flailing her way through the crowd at the sound of the gunfire.
He hates this lady.
Well, I know we said earlier that we think they end up together.
It's very possible that it could be a political thing. Yeah.
I wonder if it's like a political alliance.
It would have to be. Yeah, I don't see them genuinely falling for one another.
Could you imagine? We must make a child for the government.
I hate this.
I
hate that. The worst thing I've ever heard.
Let's draw up a contract. I bet that's what their relationship is like if he hooks up with her. In rhetoric class, she'd once attributed his inability to decipher the deeper meaning of a poem to the fact that he was too self-absorbed. The irony coming from Livia, of all people. But actions spoke louder than words. Coriolanus to the rescue, Livia to the nearest exit.
It's a good line.
So they have breakfast, and everyone's praising him for his actions. And someone suggested that he cared for her like a sister, and although he'd done nothing of the sort, he'd allowed it. No need to disrespect the dead. Highbottom doesn't make an appearance.
No, he's struggling.
He's having a hard time.
Yeah, he's having a bad time. Oh, and they get the list again, which we've been over.
Yeah, and Satyria talks about Arachne.
and they cross off, what's her name is fucking, Brandy. And they're like, should we cross off Arachne? It seems fucked up.
Yeah. Oh, but this is kind of funny. Yeah, so Soteria talks about Arachne, her audacity, her outspokenness, her sense of humor, all the things Coriolanus thought as he dabbed his eyes that were so annoying about her and had ultimately brought on her death.
Very funny.
You know, if I didn't know he ends up sucking, I might like him a little.
I would too, and especially if I were, I think we were talking about this earlier, if I could delude myself or misinterpret myself into believing that this is how Snow decided that fuck the Capitol book, but it's not, because we know it's not.
Yeah. So yeah, they get the list, and it's like how they're supposed to keep track of who's still in the game and who isn't. And they do cross off Brandy's name, but they can't bring themselves to cross off Arachne's because it feels different.
Yeah.
It's not.
Huh.
Yeah, he thinks about it. His pen hovered over her name and then left it alone for the moment. It seemed pretty cold to scratch her off the list like that. As opposed to the other kids.
Yeah, I guess fuck the district
normal
kids.
See,
fuck
and
the
then
tribute.
he does shit like this, which makes me hate him again.
Yeah.
There's no self-reflection in this entire fucking person's skull.
Not
It's
a
actually
smidge.
wild to me.
Not even a little bit. It's a bummer when you get right down to it.
I saw this TikTok today. This woman was like, "Did you know that 80% of the population doesn't self-reflect?" And then this person stitched it and was like, "Really? You don't say?"
That's pretty funny.
Which I don't know if I agree with that. I think people are much better than we tend to say.
I agree with that.
By and large,
With what you said.
I just think that a lot of bad ones are very loud and very prone toward unfortunate action.
Yeah.
And we also tend to pay attention to them.
Yeah.
Because they get the attention they asked for. So yeah, but I do then look in this guy's head and I'm like, wow, really no self-reflection about whether or not I'm the bad guy?
Even a little bit.
Not even like a little, like, well, maybe that's how other people would feel about these children. Nope.
He has his very brief moments where he kind of flirts with self-reflection, and then it just sort of stops.
I know, it's really hard.
He's not trying.
Oh, and so then Dr. Gall calls them to her office.
Yes.
Clemencia.
Clemencia's like, fuck,
and
you did the fucking work
yeah, she
without
can't believe it.
And he's like, yeah, we'll just like say that you helped. It'll be totally fine. Nothing could go wrong.
Yeah.
Totally a normal thing here.
Yeah. And Clemencia says, "Did you at least put my name on it? I don't want it to seem like I'm too feeble to pull my weight." "I didn't put anyone's name on it. It's more of a class project." "Honestly, Clemmy, I thought I was doing you a favor." Okay. I guess I owe you, but I wish I'd at least had a chance to read it. Just cover for me if she starts grilling us about it. You know I will. She'll probably hate it anyway. I mean, I think it's pretty solid, but she's operating with a whole different rule book. That's true. Do you think there will even be a Hunger Games now? Clemencia, you're a fucking idiot. And
yeah, this one was like, oh my god, they killed a child. How will they proceed? I'm like, what? Well, they're gonna kill a bunch more.
They're gonna do the Hunger Games even harder now.
Yeah, they're gonna kill the shit out of some
Unfortunately,
kids.
like
It's gonna be a huge bummer.
I get Brandy going, you know what? I'm gonna kill you, mean girl, since you want us all dead anyway. And it's like, and you're being an asshole, but it's gonna just make it worse, unfortunately.
Yeah.
If they happen, they'll be delayed, I suppose. I know you don't like them anyway. Do you? Does anyone really? Maybe they'll just send the tributes home. Oh, fat fucking chance.
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable thing to think would happen. Totally sensible.
The idea was not entirely unappealing when he thought of Lucy Gray. He wondered how the fallout from Arachne's death was affecting her. Oh, I think it is a bit. Were all the tributes being punished? Well, considering the fact that there wasn't a capital child murdered on camera and they were still beating them, I think probably.
Yeah, it goes bad. It goes real bad.
Yes, or make them Avoxes or something. Oh, that'll help.
Oh my god.
Clemencia,
you're the worst.
that'll help.
You're just the goddamn worst.
It's awful, but not as bad as the arena. Oh, fuck off,
Shut up.
Clemencia. I'm glad you get bitten by a snake.
She gets badly bitten by a snake.
I'm just kidding, kind of. I mean, I'd rather be alive without a tongue than dead, wouldn't you? Fuck off again, Clemencia. I'd rather not lose my tongue. Why are these the two choices? Why are these the choices? I would, but I'm not sure my tribute would. Can you still sing without a tongue?
Well, if I've read anything from Ruins of Ombre.
No. Okay, so they get to the Citadel, and they go through, and they do all the stuff. And Clemencia has a terrible feeling she's going to break something, and, it's actually really more like she's going to get broken by Gaul.
Little bit.
And some snakes.
More than a little bit.
Oh, there's all kinds of shit. Oh, God, this is so fucked up.
The mutation lab?
Yeah. Well, talk to me about what's going on in the mutation lab, Gus.
They got like dudes with fucking birds' wings sewn on them. They got Avoxes that have been all, manipulated to shit. They've got mockingjays.
So tell me again how being an Avox is better than being in the arena, Clemencia.
It's so fucked up, man. They're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. This is all terrible.
Yeah.
This is awful.
So they find Dr. Gall.
I hate this. I'm having a wonderful time. It's terrible. Awful.
Horrible.
I love it. I can't get enough.
I love it too. Okay. More, please. I hate this.
It is revolting.
More, please. Here they found Dr. Gall peering into a large terrarium filled with hundreds of snakes. They were artificially bright, their skins almost glowing in shades of neon pink, yellow, and blue. No longer than a ruler and not much thicker than a pencil. They twisted into a psychedelic carpet that covered the bottom of the case. Ew.
No thicker than a pencil? That's a lot of fucking snakes, man.
No thicker than a pencil. That's a lot.
A little itty bitty.
And they're like a big carpet. Ew.
I hate it. I don't like it.
Okay, I'm not afraid of snakes.
No, that's
not something that bothers me.
Thing, no.
No, it's not the thing for me. I mean, like, finding one out of nowhere, yes.
Yeah.
Like, I did round a corner when we were visiting my parents, and they had a snake on their stairs. Do you remember this? It was a little little garden snake. Nothing crazy, but
yeah,
I didn't know that because I don't know my snakes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I can't look at a snake and go, that's not a problem. And so we walked by it, and then I saw it, and I was really close to it, definitely within striking distance. And I just slowly backed away from it.
Ah, yes.
And everything was fine. And I just yelled up to the rest of the family that there's a snake on the stairs, so maybe don't bring the dogs down that way.
Well, do you know the trick to identify specifically a coral snake, which is a venomous snake?
Well, there's like a red and yellow.
Yeah.
It's like red and yellow. It's mellow, right?
No, you have it backwards.
I do? Well,
yes.
Good thing I'm not fucking having to identify one right now.
Red next to black, friendly Jack. Red next to yellow, deadly fellow.
Okay. Red next to yellow, deadly fellow. Okay. Mm-hmm. Red next to black is what?
Friendly Jack.
We could do better on that rhyme scheme, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We could do better.
Or friend of Jack.
Oh, and she says, what voice are we using for Dr. Gall?
I've just been doing kind of one of these. Like, she's a little too chipper and a little too excited about everything.
Oh, great.
But it's up to you. You can do whatever you want.
I can do that. Oh, there you are. Say hello to my new babies. She's calling the snakes her babies.
It's not what you want out of this life.
It's not what you want. Is there a point to the color? There is a point to everything or nothing at all, depending on your worldview. Which brings me to your proposal. I liked it. Who wrote it? Just you two? Or did your brassy friend weigh in before her throat was cut?
You're way
really
too
nice.
Fucking nonchalant about literally everything.
Like, that's a fucking odd thing to
Volumnia.
say to the students who are traumatized before you. As someone who was a teacher, I don't know if I would agree with behaving this way, but whatever.
I don't know, but I don't think that there's much to go support Volumnia Gall in any way. Seems like she's kind of the worst.
And Clemencia says, the whole class discussed it as a group. And Arachne was planning to help write it up last night, but then, as you said, but you two forged ahead, is that it? That's right. We wrote it up at the library, and I printed it out at my apartment last night. Then I gave it to Coriolanus so he could drop it off this morning as assigned. Is that how that happened?
She just, like, decides to be the worst about this for truly no reason. There's no reason for her to basically kill or nearly kill Clemencia over this.
It's really actually
completely unnecessary.
So unnecessary.
But you know, very good character moment.
Oh, it's a great
and
character
also
moment.
Sue's,
but
Sue's,
also, what the fuck?
Suze took a shot and all that.
Oh,
Suze
the past
did a
two
backflip.
chapters, Suze is just doing absolute Simone Biles cartwheels.
Absolutely next level stuff.
Absolutely unhinged behavior. And yeah, so she says, so Coriolanus says, I did drop it off this morning, yes. Well, just to the peacekeepers on guard. I wasn't allowed in. Was that a problem? I just wanted to make sure you both had your hands on it. I can show you the parts the group discussed and how they were developed in the proposal. Yes, do that. Did you bring a copy? No, I didn't.
So, like, this had to be premeditated for her to put the fucking thing in the fucking... Mm-hmm. This is unhinged.
Which, like, why would
truly,
she
what
even
the fuck are we... Why?
This? Is it because Coriolanus brought it himself?
I guess. Or it just seemed like it had too much of a one voice, maybe?
Maybe. But he looks
I couldn't
at
tell you why she
Clemencia.
decides to fucking... poison the shit out of Clemencia over it.
I guess she doesn't like being lied to.
I guess.
But, I mean, she had just seen her friend die. It just feels like an overreaction.
Little bit. I think a
In
little bit.
keeping with the head game maker.
Yes. You know what? She knows what this is very, very, very fitting behavior, I guess.
On brand for Volumnia.
Yes.
I love best in the world writing and seeing villains who seem sweet.
It's great.
To me, they're the
much,
worst
much
ones.
very fun.
Yeah, the ones that are like smiley and happy and
love rhymes.
Love rhymes and baby talk. And like, because to me, that's way scarier and more unhinged than like, anything else.
Yeah, a little bit.
And also, I hate them way more.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what the fuck do you have to be happy about? Kill it.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, yeah, he asked Clemencia if she brought a copy, when he very well knows she didn't, but, They took our book bags. Perhaps we could use the copy we gave you. Well, we could. But my assistant lined this very case with it while I was having my lunch. Coriolanus stared down into the mass of wriggling snakes with their tongues licking. Sure enough, he could catch phrases of his proposal between the coils. I would be so pissed. I'd be like, I worked really hard on that.
What the fuck? What the shit?
Suppose you two retrieve it. It felt like a test.
Yeah, a little bit.
A weird Dr. Gall test,
Yep.
but still.
Yeah, it's a worse kind of test than a
And
normal
somehow
test.
planned.
Yep.
But he couldn't begin to guess to what end.
Oh, well, don't worry. You'll find out.
He glanced at Clemencia and tried to remember if she was afraid of snakes, but he scarcely knew if he was himself. They didn't have snakes in the lab at school. She gave Dr. Gall a clenched smile. Of course. Do we just reach in through the trapdoor on the top? No. Let's give you some room. Mr. Snow, why don't you start? So she clearly thinks that
Snow
Coriolanus did it.
Did it, yeah.
Coriolanus reached in slowly, feeling the warmth of the heated air. That's right. Move gently. Don't disrupt them. He scooped his fingers under the edge of a
his
sheet
tail in his sleep again.
of his proposal and slowly slid it out from under the snakes. They slumped down into a heap, but didn't seem to mind much. I don't think they even noticed me. Here I go, then.
Yeah, man, nothing suspicious about mutation snakes acting like this. Definitely not anything to look into or read into here.
Oh, no, I definitely think these snakes are coming back.
Oh, yeah. What was the thing last episode where we said that's going to be important? Was it the snakes or was it something else? It was
the
the rabbit.
rabbit
Yeah, the
with
rabbit's
the
now come
jaw.
up like 3 fucking times.
The rabbit with the jaw, the snakes. Yeah, I feel like those are all going to be important.
Yeah.
They can't see too well, and they hear even less. But they know you're there. Snakes can smell you using their tongues. That is true. These mutts hear more than others. Clemencia hooked a sheet with her fingernail and lifted it up. The snakes stirred. If you're familiar, if they have pleasant associations with your scent, a warm tank, for instance, they'll ignore you. A new scent, something foreign, that would be a threat. You'd be on your own, little girl. Coriolanus had just begun to put two and two together when he saw the look of alarm on Clementia's face.
Wait a minute.
She yanked her hand from the tank, but not before a half dozen neon snakes sank their fangs into her flesh. And that is the end of chapter 7.
Terrible.
Damn, Suze. So I guess it's pretty tough to be a capital kid, too.
Well, yeah, but, I think it's better than being a district kid, but it still sucks.
How did they win?
I don't understand how the Capitol won this fucking war.
I'm sure that there's something larger at play.
Because, the answer, nukes isn't enough. Because, it sounds like they were in a position very similar to the end of Mockingjay. But again, I'm kind of I had always interpreted or imagined that the rebellion was essentially, there was a rebellion, there was fighting, the capital started pounding the districts into the fucking mud, and then District 13 got the nukes and said stop, and then they stopped, but that the capital was able to... The dog's tail's going fucking bananas. He's having a great dream. But I had assumed that, the capital had won such an overwhelming victory that they were able to extract such horrific treaty elements as the Hunger Games. Because I'm kind of if they were that close to total defeat, how did this happen?
Yeah.
But I look forward to finding out more.
I feel like we will.
And in terms of raw recording time, which includes a lot of pauses and silences and ums and things we cut out that are not interesting, we're at 3 hours, so I think we should stop because it's 9 o'clock at night, and I have to edit this.
Yeah, I think now we have to stop.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. This has been Wheel Takes Podcast. If you want to keep in touch with us, our social media description is below. If you would like to become a patron, our Patreon details are also below. It really helps us continue keeping this podcast up and running. And lastly, if you cannot be a patron for any reason, please consider leaving us a rating or a review. That is a free thing that you can do to help support our podcast, and we really friggin' appreciate it.
Yeah.
It also makes our day.
It does.
That is nice every now and then. Otherwise, anything else, Gus?
We're going to do the one word at a time thing again?
Yeah, I think we should.
Snakes.
On.
The.
Plane.
Just.
Might.
Be.
In.
Your.
Arm.
Delicious.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Tripods all fell down. I just want the tripods to stand up.
That was one of the most chaotic things I've ever witnessed in my life.
Oh, jeez.
Good absolute God, yes. Oh my God. That was one of the most chaotic things I've ever seen in my life.
What's
Holy
up?
shit.
Welcome to Wheel Takes.
Oh my God, please
Absolute
put that at the end. That was the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Of chaos today. Oh my God.
Good God, Gus. That was absolutely, it did not need to be.
No.
That was so silly.
I was trying to stand up a bunch of, I had to record a bunch of auditions this week for Don't Worry, It's Non-Equity.
No, I'm just kidding. We're so proud of you.
Non-equity commercial stuff. But I have a bunch of tripod and camera equipment sitting out, so I had to put it back. and it made a lot of noise when I was putting it back.
It all just kept collapsing.
Constantly.
It just kept collapsing.
It was amazing.
It just the more he tried to fix it, the worse it got. It was
horrible, and I'm so happy.
beautiful to behold.